Welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the true north. This is Mr. BDA with you, and as always with me, my co-host King Bucho. King, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Listen, guys, let's get this out of the way right away, okay? If you want to join us, you guys know the drill. Go to Google Hangouts, send us an instant message via the email address that's on the top of your screen, boxingdebate@hotmail.com. That's boxingdebate@hotmail.com. First-time users, I will be requiring an email address so I can send you the invite. That's a one-time thing only. After that, I won't bother you anymore with pesky questions about your email. I see we got people in the chat room. Shout out to Cthulhu Sees You, 100%X, doing his thing, becoming a global sensation. Mr. Coxey, Koran Bread, shout out to all of you. Bucho, not that much going on in the world of boxing in terms of fights this weekend, but a lot of drama. A lot of drama. So much drama that I don't think I can keep up with it. What about you?
Nah, I'm used to it. It's boxing. It's always drama.
All right. Well, one thing that piqued my curiosity coming into the Saturday this weekend on Boxing Scene, Spence says Thurman and Garcia, regarding Thurman and Garcia, he says Heyman can't make them fight me. And remember, we made a video about that over at BDA or regular channel. We're talking about how Sean Porter has no one to fight right now, and he's bemoaning the fact that his career isn't going exactly the way he wanted. And now Spence comes out and says the same thing about himself. I gotta tell you, man, I'm wondering if fucking Spence and Porter shouldn't be fighting each other instead of waiting around for Thurman, Crawford, and Garcia. What do you think?
I don't know, man.
You don't know?
Well, Thurman's gonna leave the PBC, no?
Thurman is gonna leave the PBC. Well, that's a rumor that's going around right now. I'm not sure if exactly that's what's gonna happen. I mean, I know Akum's Deception said that a couple of weeks ago in the chat room, but I haven't heard anything about that in any news or any forums.
All right.
Anyway, what's up with you? Anything in the news that you want to talk about?
You know what? I thought the Frampton fight was today, man. And then I know you told me later on, no, it's not today. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, for sure, I thought it was today. So basically, we don't have anything today.
No, we
There's
don't.
no boxing fights, and I mean, I don't even know, man. What can we talk about?
Well, there's a lot to talk about. I just wanted to see if you want to start off with something.
Yeah,
obviously,
I
see that you've come unprepared once again. Nothing to offer.
No, I have the Thurman. I told you we could talk about Thurman, maybe possibly leaving. He said something about. Damn, I should have written it down. About Al Heyman. Didn't he say like Al Heyman doesn't decide what I don't know.
A real man don't find it offensive.
Whoever told you that you could work with
real men?
Well, you know what my stance is on fucking on talking about TMC stuff. You know, like this guy said this guy said that. I don't care about that.
Right.
I want to talk about fights, but there's no fights really. So I don't know what you wanted me to come up with. Like, there's really nothing. There's only TMC gossip.
All right, there's plenty to talk about here, right? First of all, like I said, Jacobs says Canelo suspension, so he's not bigger than boxing. All right, so people are coming down on Canelo.
That too. Fuck it.
People are coming down on Canelo. Who else was coming down? Khan is saying, "Oh, I hope he wasn't on steroids when we fought." Perangulo had some choice words to say about his former opponent. I think Liam Smith said something as well. I'm not sure, and I know for sure Malignaggi, who wasn't ever a Canelo opponent, nevertheless came out during Brandon Schaub's podcast and started saying some things about Canelo. We're gonna get to that later on. Also, speaking of the middleweight division, Murata, I believe, is going to be fighting either today or this evening, or rather Sunday in the morning for us here. I'm not too sure. Let me check that out right now. Meanwhile, how about you check out what's going on in the chat room there, Bucho?
Okay, let's see what we got. Damn, next week is overloaded with boxing. Yes, it is. We have also Broner against Jesse Vargas next week, so I also didn't think it was next week, so I'm all lost here in time and space, man. So
Hmm.
yeah, next week is gonna be fucking jam packed. Russell Jr. by KO against Joseph Diaz. I don't know if Russell Jr. wins by KO, but I think he does win this fight. But man, it's not gonna be easy for Russell Jr. Man, I see him getting hit, but I don't know. I think Joseph Diaz, his punches sound harder than what they actually are. I think he hasn't. Yeah, look at his record. He only has like 40 knockouts out of what 20 something fights,
Hmm.
20 more. Is that enough? Is that good enough? 50%, almost like a 50, less than a 50% KO percentage.
Well, I mean, it's not like he's a freaking super power puncher. I mean, but I
Yeah, I
mean,
know. Yeah, because I'm reading articles and they portray him as some sort of knockout puncher. I'm like power puncher. I'm like, I mean, he doesn't hit like Malignaggi, but he's not like fucking Mike Tyson or anything like that.
well, sorry about that. Had to shut off the mic there for a moment.
I thought I got kicked out.
No, the thing about
Well,
Russell
let's
Jr.
start inviting people, by the way.
Some people were saying that Russell Jr. Lifted weights, and I have to rewatch his fight against Escalon. I forget the guy's name. Yeah, I didn't see him all that bulked up. Maybe I wasn't watching closely. Then again, I wasn't terribly interested in watching Gary Russell Jr. against that guy. But this Joseph Jr. fight is pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Casey Rome says Russell Jr. versus Diaz. Who does everyone have? Family says Russell by KO. The Mr. Coxey says Russell Jr. Casey Robinson says, I think it goes all 12 to Russell by decision. Mr. Coxey says, I say it goes 12. Fam Ollie says, looking back, that Loma loss is looking good because he didn't quit. That's right, and he could have. If anybody had a chance to quit, was Russell in those last rounds. He was taking a beating downstairs. Boxing Killers TV says, what's up, BDA? Bucho, Russell still fights. How many fights has he had in the last 3 years? That's a good question. Let's go check that out. How many fights has Gary Russell Jr. had? All right, wait a minute. What is this? Ah, I see. It's a good question because he's with the PBC. So remember that PBC plan doesn't exactly get you the best fights all the time. All right, so let's see. He fought. Let me put it up on the screen for everybody to see. He fought Lomachenko in 2014. Can't get rid of that logo up there. All right, so he fought Lomachenko 2014. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's had 4 fights since. 4 years ago. So that means 1 fight. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, he had 1 fight in 2014 after he lost to Lomachenko. 1 in 2015. 1 in 2016. 1 in 2017. So that means he's been fighting once a year, people. Do you think that's enough for a guy of his caliber? Do you think that's enough for somebody that's in a loaded division? Because let's face it, that's what featherweight is. It's a loaded division. Some people were saying in the comment section for the video we did about Russell versus Diaz, they were saying, oh, Russell's the best featherweight. And I think, well, in terms of resume, you have to give that one to Leo Santa Cruz. Let's put that up right there, the ratings, according to Ring TV. Gary Russell Jr. is considered number 2. I think in terms of resumes, definitely Santa Cruz. But whether I would favor Santa Cruz against Gary Russell Jr., that's another story. I've yet to see Santa Cruz take on somebody with the hand speed of a Russell Jr. Then again, I hold the Frampton win from Santa Cruz in very high regard. And then you got Oscar Valdez, Lee Selby, who is going to be taking on Josh Warrington, I think next month, I believe, or in June. Abner Maris, who will be taking on Santa Cruz in a rematch. It's not an easy fight for Santa Cruz, but he should win that one. Unless Abner Maris makes some definite improvements. Joseph Diaz Jr. taking on the aforementioned Gary Russell Jr. He's at number 7. Jesus Rojas, who I think is the dark horse in the division, or at least one of them, very tough. Again, Josh Warrington, number 9, and Scott Quigg at number 10. Scott Quigg and Jesus Rojas, you know, if you like fireworks, they should make that fight. We should be demanding that fight. I'll tell you that much right now. Should be demanding. Cameron Gillon says Selby is the best featherweight. When again, I mean, you can think that in terms of ability, but we got to look at resume here. We can't just pick and choose whoever we think has the most potential. Butcher, that's what people also sometimes do when they talk about pound for pound rankings, right? They go, oh, well, this guy's the best. He hasn't fought anybody. No, but he beats everybody. All right, you can think that, but that doesn't mean he is indeed the best, right?
And being docked doesn't count either.
Being docked? Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, he's being docked, so you get extra points for that. No, you don't. It's called the complete opposite. You don't get fucking points because you're not fighting somebody that you're supposed to be fighting.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Oh, it's not. Yeah, people like to talk. Some people like to talk about that as if it's an extra in your record. Look, whether you're not fighting because people are avoiding you or because you can't get the fights or because your promoter sucks, whatever, it doesn't put you up in the pound for pound rankings. And first of all, the pound for pound rankings are subjective, all right? Let's keep that in mind. Nobody really cares. You know, those people that end up having 2-hour, 3-hour discussions about pound for pound rankings, they're fun. But when it becomes all you talk about, it starts to get a little annoying. By the way, we got Stu on the line.
I wasn't bad, though.
I told you what's going to happen to Price. I told you he's going to be sleeping. I told you the ambulance is going to come. The oxygen mask is going to come out. I told you he's going to miss the main event. I told you all them things were going to happen.
That's right. The one, the only Stu.
What's happening, boys?
Nothing much, man. Just doing a little show here. Good to have you as always. People were really happy with some of the. What's that?
Go on, bro.
Yeah,
go on, what you said?
People were really happy and laughing at some of the stuff you were saying in the last episode, which, you know, got a little rowdy.
This is the thing, bro. You know what I mean? We're grown men here. There's more to life than boxing. We can have a chat. We can talk about other things. There's so much in life we can talk about. You know, but what made me laugh is that we was actually. Cameron was talking about eating out assholes, and and when you look in the chat, they were talking about Lomachenko and Linares. I mean, these guys, man.
Yeah, some people were talking about wanting to eat Lomachenko's ass. That's how close they were getting to that.
Some people are hardcore. That's why they just keep on talking about boxing, man.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is the thing, though. You know, you have to. Like I said, I've probably spent this week talking boxing with you guys. Hours nearly. We have to switch it up, otherwise I'm going to go insane. There's only so much I could talk about Anthony Joshua and Jared Hurd.
Absolutely, completely, man. I mean, we got to take breaks every once in a while. We can't talk as much as we love boxing. We can't talk about it for fucking 3 hours non-stop or 9-10 hours every week. You know, even radio person.
I mean, you guys are fucking soldiers, right? You're the kings of the YouTube boxing community because every day you basically do a show, and we've got a good panel here, and we're talking boxing constantly, but we have to switch it up, otherwise it's going to be a tedious affair. Same guy. It's going to be like Low Place talking about Stevenson and Buddy Jack.
All right.
You know, so
by the way, here's a quote my uncle always used to say about true boredom.
True boredom is when you want to get yourself off and you don't want it at exactly the same time.
That's right. That is the epitome of true boredom. When you want to get off, but you don't want to at the same time. I was going to use another word there, but then BDA Standard and Practices talked to Bucho and me, and they told us we can't swear as much anymore. No. So, by the way, Cameron is on the line as well.
No. Well, I want the old intro, bro.
You want the old intro?
Why?
Yeah, I want the old one back, man. I want the steroids in the chin one, man.
I don't have it up at the moment, man.
Oh, right, fuck it, we'll do it another time. Right,
Cameron Gillon.
I'm gonna make a new one.
Oh, no, there it is.
He looks like he put steroids in his chin.
We did have the old one. All right, Cameron, thanks.
I was expecting that eat an ass intro for Cameron. Man.
Nah, that would have been too obvious.
Not tonight, man. That was I was listening back to that one last night. I was laid in bed about 1 in the morning. I was just laughing my fucking head off at that.
Yeah, that would have been if you would have done.
Cameron, is that you in that? Is that you in the picture that on your profile?
Yeah.
Zayn from One Direction, bro.
I don't even know. I'm
a young man. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to I'm gonna try and cut it down on eating arse after the last conversation we had because I think apology.
Hey, bro, you've got the Ryan Garce there, bro.
Oh man.
So, you know what, right? After the other day, I know apology lost massive respect for me. You know what I mean? I think he wasn't very happy and impressed, but you know what I mean. But recognise had a chat afterwards. I'm gonna go on his channel at some point, and we'll probably have a further discussion on that.
Cameron, Cameron, don't explain yourself, bro. You're a fucking very good addition to this chat. You opened up your heart to the boys. And like I said, we're men here. There's these guys in the chat that pretend to be all fucking do-gooders. You can believe some of the nastiness they're doing. So, like I said, mate, you know, all the respect in the world from me for keeping it real.
I respect Cameron too. But I'm not gonna let you sit here and let you berate our audience. That is unacceptable. This is the best audience in the world. We get the best audience in the world, don't we, folks? Come on.
I've got a lot of respect for the audience because they were trolling me in the chat the other day. But you know, there's trolls and there's funny trolls, and there were, in the chat there was funny trolls. You know, Pavel, Cachinello, John Gonzalez. Those were the three guys that were just they had me in stitches. Man. They were proper going in on me. But
I mean, I think I've got my biggest troll is I think his name's Chris Gonzalez from the Philippines. This guy, man, he doesn't give me a break for fucking 5 minutes. Every time I'm watching the show, he's calling me out. But it's all fun and games.
Of course, yeah, that's the point of BDA. It's all to have fun and break each other's balls. But by the way, I wanted to ask: was Apology Man being serious about losing respect for you? Because I know he said that multiple times, and
He's joking, man.
Listen, bro, trust me, he's cool.
Oh, okay, good.
He's cool, man. He's only playing, man.
All right, cool. No, I just wanted to know.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, recognise, man. I subbed to his channel. He subbed to mine the other day because I'm gonna be doing a few videos. This is gonna go bad to worse. I've never done it before, really. So I want to get my channel going and get recognised on. We'll probably talk about eating arse a bit more on that.
There you go.
If you ever want to do a video, bro, add me on Skype and I'll come and do a video with you.
Oh, bro, yeah, I appreciate that. That'll be good, yeah.
All right, guys, I gotta tell you something. I was started watching the Carl Frampton versus Horacio Garcia fight in preparation for next week because we're gonna be doing videos about that and talking about that during the podcast. I haven't even gotten to the 6th round yet, but in my estimation, it seems like Carl Frampton's off to a good start. Does he start slowing down afterwards?
Say that again, bro. I missed that.
Yeah, I was rewatching the Carl Frampton versus Horacio Garcia fight. And actually, not rewatching, watching it, because I've never seen it all. And watching the first couple of rounds, okay, Carl Frampton's doing very well. He's looking sharp. Does he start looking like shit after the 4th round? Because so far, he's been looking good in those first 4 rounds.
Yeah, he starts slowing down later on in the fight. I feel what Frampton in that fight. That's what I'm expecting Frampton to beat Donaire. Donaire's sliding big time. But then again, Frampton, his last fight against Garcia didn't look great, did he? So, I mean, I feel like Frampton's he's lost. I don't really think he's physically sliding. I feel like he's just lost a bit of hunger, to be honest. I think that Santa Cruz loss took something out of him. But I think, Frampton should beat Donaire 100%. But I just feel like Frampton's lost maybe a bit of motivation at this point in his career. He's been talking about not wanting to have a long career from here. He's talking about maybe a few more fights and all that. So I feel like Frampton just wasn't motivated for that fight.
All right. Now, by the way, there was a question.
Go ahead. It's not that, bro.
What do you think it is? He's cut off, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's cutting off. Oh yeah, he's cutting off bad, man.
Listen, it's not that, bro. What it is, right? What it is with Frampton, right? He's moved up, and his attributes don't serve.
He's muted himself by accident.
He's muting himself by accident?
Yeah, he's on mute.
How do you mute yourself by accident? What's he hitting it with his elbow?
He's on mute though, it says on his thing.
Gosh darn it. Alright. Stu, just for your information, we can't hear you, what you're saying. Not because you're cutting off, but because you're on mute. Or you know what, maybe something happened and he had to mute it at the last minute. Anyway, look, here's another question that I was gonna ask. and it's an interesting question. I hope. Let's say Canelo versus Golovkin, the rematch.
Can you hear me now, bro?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, yep.
He's muted himself now. So he's back now.
This is very exciting. Getting updates from Cameron.
No, I was just saying, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
I can't now.
Saying, I think Frampton moving to featherweight. No.
Yeah, we're still here, bro.
Ah, shit.
He's dropped off completely now.
He's gonna come back. I think he thinks maybe if he
Yeah.
All right. Now
so I'll just touch on what Stu was saying. I know he's going to say Frampton's not big enough for a featherweight. I think he's going to say. And obviously, you know, he's even tight at featherweight. He missed weight for that fight, didn't he, against I can't remember the guy's name, but he ended up slipping in the shower, didn't he? Anyway, and injured himself. So Frampton, for me, you know, I feel like Frampton's too small for featherweight. You know, if you look at the top featherweights, you've got Selby, Russell Jr., Santa Cruz, who he's already lost to, and Oscar Valdez. You know, how does Frampton beat any of them? I'll give him a good shot against them, but I wouldn't be confident in picking him against any of them, especially someone like you know, Valdez, who brings the pressure. You know, he likes to tear up, and I feel like someone that featherweight like Valdez, who's younger, hungrier, and he's fresher, you know, and he can work a lot harder, you know, for a 12-round fight. I feel like Valdez is probably the toughest fight out there for Frampton at featherweight. But I mean, Frampton against Donaire, I feel like Donaire is probably shot enough for Frampton to kind of outpoint him, but you just never know with Donaire, because you know Frampton's not you know, people talk about how Donaire is, you know, he's not big enough for featherweight either, but Frampton's a former super bantamweight, so maybe Donaire can pull out the bag. You never know.
Well, that's the thing about Donaire is people like to say he's slipping and all that, and it's true. He's not the guy he was back in 2011, but he still packs a punch with that left hook, hand speed. Everybody he fights, whether he wins or loses, I already said this before, but whether he wins or loses, he almost always manages to drop somebody or hurt somebody. I don't know if, you know, Carl Frampton, he tends to get into these exchanges. I hope for his sakes he doesn't get into too many exchanges, otherwise he might end up hitting the canvas on this one. And
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, man, if that happened.
Yeah, neither would I. Now, here's the thing. We did a little video talking about Gary Russell Jr. versus Joseph Diaz, which is what we started talking about earlier.
I watched that about an hour ago.
Oh, cool. And people in the chat room were saying, or most people are picking Russell by decision or even by stoppage. Cameron, what do you think?
I think Russell wins on points. I think Jojo Diaz is good, you know, former Olympian as well, younger. The thing is with Russell, the problem is because he fights. I heard you guys talking about before actually come on. You know, he's only fought 4 times since he lost.
Cameron, you cut off there.
Yep.
Cameron, you still there? All right, connection issues. We got some connection issues all across the board. This is usually what happens when you have storms. I'm checking the YouTube health. It says health is good. It's on green. Everything is green, meaning everything is good. And I don't know why we're losing connections here. All right, Cameron, if you can hear this, log off the Hangout and then come back in.
Sorry,
All right, keep talking because I want to see if the connection is good. All right, I guess that. Yeah, all right, Cameron, I'm gonna need you to log off and log back in because this.
Okay, bro.
All right, thanks, man. X is saying BDA understands business and I'm a hustler, so I can relate. Butcher, I'm getting a little worried that X is getting this close to the BDA organization. I mean, this guy, from what I hear, he's dangerous, pretty dangerous. So I don't know.
Yeah, I heard that too. I mean,
he says
he's very smart too, man.
I hear he's very streetwise.
Like Malcolm X, you know, like.
I hear he's very streetwise and business savvy when it comes to making deals and what they call hustling. So, I mean, I don't know. You know, he could be helpful and he could be a good ally, but I just don't know if I trust somebody with that type of reputation, a very hard reputation, very, you know, that type of personality. You just don't know when he's gonna snap. You know, he could be your
That's
friend.
exciting, man.
Can you hear me now, boys? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
now,
sir.
all right, Cameron, you speak, and because I want to see if you're.
I've sorted out the internet now, so hopefully I'll be all right now.
Yeah. Okay. Do me a favor. Count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Whoa! He got to 10, and I didn't even hear any breaking. All right, Cameron. Let's see you. Let's see you next.
What it is? Where my box is? Because I live on a farmhouse. It's a big place, so I've got like a room where I have all my PlayStation and all that lot, and I sit in here and chill and have a drink and sit with my dogs in here. And it's quite away from where my box is, so I've opened the window and I've got a better signal now. So
now you don't
It's
do
way better now.
You don't do Netflix and chill with your dogs, right?
I've got 2 dogs. Yeah, I've got a Staffordshire Bull Terrier and an American Bulldog.
No kidding. Is that to keep the gypsies away from your farmhouse, or?
Hey mate, if you saw my dogs running at you, you'd shit your
Jeez. Yeah, we got a regular Roy Jones in here. You don't treat them like Michael Vick, do you?
Hey, listen, the kennels. I paid 900 quid for the kennels. My dogs, which is about $1,500 just for the kennels for my dogs, mate. My dogs are looked after.
All right, so you don't make them fight each other or anything like that.
No, they did have a fight. They've had a couple of fights. And I nearly lost my thumb splitting them up. I broke them up, and I've got I nearly lost my thumb, and it's still numb to this day. That was 2 years ago.
My goodness.
So yeah, so
Can you hear me now? Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh yeah, so I was just testing it out, man. I don't know what the fuck happened there.
All right, we're gonna need you to count to 10 as well to see if your connection is stable. All right.
You can get fucked, man. I ain't doing that.
Count to 10. Stu did it. 1, 2, 3. Come on, you eat ass. You can count to 10. Come on.
Yeah, man. I mean, 10.
There's 2 Camerons in the chat anymore, and it's going to be in one direction that's in the chat.
I just noticed that, man. I don't know why there's 2 things in me in this chat, man. Obviously, it didn't take out the first time, but I don't know what happened, man. I don't think it was a connection. My whole fucking Google Chrome just crashed, so...
I just want to get onto the Frampton thing, because obviously it was fucking Robocop when I was trying to talk. But Carl Frampton's problem is featherweight don't suit him. He's too small. His attribute, his reach, his height. I mean, he's a very strong guy, but he's given away so much reach, so much length and distance. And I think he's struggling at featherweight. I think at bantamweight, super bantamweight, it suits him because they're smaller guys. But when you've got Leo Santa Cruz, Gonzalez was a long guy, very rangy, tall, and Frampton had problems with him. And I think that's the problem with Carl Frampton. He's just not big enough featherweight.
Well, it's interesting because against Santa Cruz, first of all, how did you guys have the... Let's start with Stu. Stu, how did you score the first Frampton-Santa Cruz fight? Or who did you have winning?
I had Frampton winning the first one. I had Santa Cruz winning comfortably the second.
Okay, and...
Santa Cruz adjusted. Santa Cruz went with his normal Mexican style, head first, and it suited Frampton. Frampton's a very good counter puncher, and Frampton outboxed him, sort of thing, and won the fight for me. But in the second fight, Santa Cruz adjusted, stayed on the back foot, used his range, used his length and his jab, and and I think he comfortably won the second.
Cameron, how about you?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I had it the same. I had Frampton win the first one. I had Santa Cruz win the second one. You know, first fight was close in the second one, no doubt about that. I thought Cruz won the second one. I don't think it was even up for debate. Like Stu said, Santa Cruz adjusted. I feel like I thought it was pretty evident that Santa Cruz was obviously going to be the one that was going to adjust. We've seen a lot of rematches where a close fight happens. Usually, it's not often that the loser wins the rematch. We usually see the winner win more decisively. But I felt like in that one, it was pretty obvious at the end of the first fight that Santa Cruz was going to be the one that would make adjustments and go on to win. I mean, I picked Frampton to win the first one, but I picked Santa Cruz to win the second one. But I didn't think he'd win it as decisively as he did.
Yeah, that was quite surprising.
Santa Cruz changed his style. The way he fought Frampton in the second fight, we've never seen him fight like that before. He's usually come forward. He's very Badu Jack-like, if you know, very sounds fundamentally and does everything well, but nothing special. But in the Frampton rematch, he fought like a defensive style, and when Frampton was walking onto him, because Frampton's got very short arms, he just couldn't get the range properly. And when he was trying to get into distance, Santa Cruz was using the jab and the straight right to keep him out of range, and it was a comfortable win for me.
Yeah, that's the thing, because Michael Stock in the chat room says a lot of people thought he won both fights. I think he's talking about Santa Cruz. Yeah, because Del Boy's Boxing News, shout out to Del Boy, says Leo Santa Cruz won them both. So there's people out there that think that
he didn't, man. He didn't. Your name could be your name could be Teddy Atlas, and I still think you're talking out your ass if you said that Santa Cruz won the first fight. Don't matter. Like I said, he didn't win the first fight. Anyone that knows how to score a fight. I mean, this is Frampton come to America in Santa Cruz. I know it weren't his backyard, but it's basically his backyard. When you go to America to fight a Mexican, you're fighting in Mexican territory, basically. You know that. There's fucking millions of them over there. So he still went in Santa Cruz's backyard, and even the judges had Frampton winning quite comfortably. So that tells you everything you need to know.
I had Frampton winning by 3 rounds in that fight.
Yeah, me too. Me too, bro.
Now, we just have to clarify, the first fight took place in the Barclays Center in New York, which isn't really, what's it called, Mexican country. But I get what you say.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's like fucking when, say, Tyson Fury, no, sorry, not Tyson Fury, but it's when fighters like Cole Froch, say Cole Froch when he fights in London. Cole Froch is a Nottingham boy. He's not from London, but he can still fill the stadium.
Right, right.
It's the same with Santa Cruz is the big name. The Mexicans do back him. So I'm not having that. Oh, he wasn't at his home. I mean, what do we want? I mean, do you want the fight to happen in Mexico City before it's fair?
No, I'm not saying that. I was just clarifying that there were actually more Irish people rooting for what's his name, Frampton in New York in that day, that night.
Yeah, but that don't matter. There was more Irish people rooting for McGregor than Floyd Mayweather in Las Vegas. So it doesn't matter.
So the crowd doesn't count.
The Irish will always outnumber the opponents.
And I'll drink them too.
It doesn't, Sorry.
And I'll drink them too.
Oh well, yeah, that's a fact.
So wait a minute, Stu. So if somebody's fighting in New York, like okay, Frampton's fighting in New York, and the crowd is mostly Irishmen.
Yeah.
That's still not home court advantage to some extent. So you don't count that at all.
No, because at the end of the day, right, it's not Frampton's fault. It's not my fault that Americans can't get the fucking crowd to back them in their home country. Do you think any American or Mexican comes to England, no matter where it is, do you think they're going to be outnumbering the Brits?
No.
There's no country in the world without numbering the Brits, man.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. Anthony Joshua fights in Wales. Wales is not even England. Yet 80,000. Oh,
it's like 20 minutes away or something, you know.
Nah,
hey, Wales is free. From where I live, Wales is about 4.5 hours.
Yeah, same as me.
So
Couple of hours, yeah.
All right. Now we have to introduce. We have Michael and Recognize in the house.
Don't get fooled when they tell you that the crime rate is down in New York. Every time I watch the local news, they're always talking about, well, there was a stabbing here, there was a stabbing there, there was a shooting there, but the crime is down.
I'm on the rooftop of my apartment, guys. Exclusive report, that guy.
That's right, reporting. All right, guys.
These guys have got some epic intros.
Oh, we're gonna. What, you want us to rework yours? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, man. I reckon I've said a few things, over the last few shows, and I reckon something can be put together. A real epic intro for sure.
All right,
hey, Cameron. I've noticed you've actually been building up this intro. You're actually being controversial to get an intro. Yeah.
I'm telling you, he's gonna start using the N word and stuff. Just to get
Nah,
a
man.
little intro.
I'll say a lot of things, but you won't hear me say anything like that, man. Listen, man, I'll confirm.
Hey, be like precise, and think every fight's corrupt and everyone's on peds, and you'll get a good intro.
Man, I don't want to be a white supremacist. I'll pass on that.
All right. Now listen. First of all, I want to thank.
Precise is the man, mate. Precise is the man. He's a good guy.
I want to thank,
You're right.
Recognize, and Michael for being on the show, guys. Thank you for being on as always. Appreciate your time.
Always a good thing.
All right. Now look, guys, we're talking about Carl Frampton versus Santa Cruz, but I wanted to move the discussion a little bit towards, because again, some people are saying Russell Jr. beats Joseph Diaz easy when they're gonna fight, and I don't know. I think Joseph Diaz. What's your impression of Joseph Diaz? Does he pass the eye test? Because at some point I thought he was better than Oscar Valdez. Now I'm not too sure because Valdez has had that good win over quick. So what do you guys think? Joseph Diaz, is he good enough to beat Gary Russell Jr.?
I'll let Frank go first, and I'll go after.
All right.
I'm going to say I haven't seen much of Joseph Diaz, so I'm going to lean towards the guy that I do know a little bit more, and that's Russell Jr. I think that Joseph Diaz, he's a southpaw, could give him some. He's a southpaw, right? Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that can always make the fight intriguing. But like I said, I really don't know much about him, so I'm going to lean towards Russell Jr. to beat him.
Yeah, I mean Gary Russell Jr. is a very talented fighter. I mean, I think Gary Russell gets. I mean, the LDBC have turned on him because he got schooled by Lomachenko, but Lomachenko does that to everyone. Take Lomachenko out the equation, and Gary Russell is a serious threat for anybody. Very, very talented guy. Probably the fastest hand speed in boxing. So, and look what he did. Johnny Gonzalez. I mean, Johnny Gonzalez smashed Abner Mares to pieces, and Gary Russell Jr. made mince meat out of Johnny Gonzalez. It wasn't even a competitive.
He's a bit washed up, though.
No, who?
Gonzalez.
How was he washed up when he just beat Abner Mares?
He shouldn't even have beaten. Well, I don't know. When you get one of those knockouts in like 2 rounds or something, I want to see more, because that's just like...
He's not shot, man. Johnny Gonzalez is still beating some legit guys. Even I think it was his last fight. He beat an undefeated prospect, man. Johnny Gonzalez has still got something left.
He's Johnny Gonzalez. If you're not up to world class and you fight Johnny Gonzalez, you're getting found out big time.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with that.
Yeah, I thought he should have won against Okendo. I thought he deserved to win that fight.
I feel like Gonzalez would be a good fight for Frampton, to be honest with you.
Ooh, he's a bit tall, though.
See, I think the range, the length. Johnny Gonzalez is he's got long arms, very rangy, very Santa Cruz-like. His build, and I think that could be a horrible matchup for Frampton. I think Frampton struggles with guys with long arms. Let's be real. Gonzalez, who was talking about the other day, the guy that died, that Frampton fought, he dropped Frampton twice, didn't he? Early on, Frampton couldn't get to terms with this guy because of the distance, the range, the length of his arms, and I think Johnny Gonzalez, I think Frampton could struggle with that one. I'll still pick Frampton to win it, find a way, because Johnny Gonzalez is not very durable in my eyes. I think he's very vulnerable around the whiskies, but I think star-wise, I think it's a horrible fight for Frampton. I really do.
What BDA was saying about Valdez and Joe Diaz, I wanted to kind of say I kind of think Joe Diaz has a good chance of beating Russell Jr. I don't really know what's going to happen, but I'm leaning toward Diaz. But when you're saying about Oscar Valdez, I think Valdez has more boxing knowledge or skill, but I think Diaz has more power and endurance.
More power than Valdez.
I think it'll be better. Sorry, BD, I was going to say. I think it'll be better for boxing if Joseph Diaz wins, and I say that because Gary Russell Jr.'s got all the talent in the world, but he's just not interested in boxing. He doesn't care about fighting, man. You hear it before. He says, I'm only doing this because I'm good at it. You know what I mean? I don't do it because I love it. I was just good at it, so I'm doing it. He wants to make his money.
Are you talking about, hey Cameron? Who are you talking about, bro?
Gary Russell Jr.
Yeah, I agree. The hunger and desire doesn't seem to be there. It doesn't.
Right. Now
No,
we
and
get.
he won't unify. He won't unify. You know, he fights once a year, and that's his mandatory. He doesn't care about fighting, man.
Well, that's the thing because, like, Boxing Hype is in the chat room saying Gary's record is trash. He hasn't really fought anybody good, and his claim to fame is his hand speed. And we're also talking a lot about the fact that he went 12 rounds against Lomachenko. But I mean, I think the reason why we're bringing up the Lomachenko fight is because lately everyone's been quitting against Lomachenko or getting stopped. Meanwhile, Gary Russell Jr., the first 8-9 rounds, he was actually very, competitive. Not that he was winning the rounds, but that he wasn't being humiliated.
The thing with Lomachenko, what a lot of people don't realize is when Lomachenko started fighting in the pros, his early fights very, very amateur-like, like with a Salido. That's why he lost, because he was in there with a point scoring system. You know, the amateur scoring system where you just pop shot your way to a win, and it doesn't work in the pro game. And Salido brought a style that he was never used to, and I think with the Gary Russell fight was straight after the Salido fight, and I think it was his like third fight, and I think he was like growing into the professional game. I don't think he'd switched basically 100%. I think he was basically very amateurish still, and I think as the fights go on and he gets more fights in, I think you've seen the pro game, and he's switched that world class amateur style into a world class pro game. But back then, when he fought Salido, Gary Russell, I think it was like he was changing from an amateur style to a pro style. So I don't think we see the best of it.
You know what, right? They were talking about doing Lomachenko-Salido rematch last year. I'm glad that fight didn't happen because Lomachenko would destroy Salido, absolutely destroy him in a rematch, no doubt about it. I reckon Lomachenko.
I keep saying that to everyone. You know, these fanboys, these LDBC fanboys, right? That want to get on Lomachenko's back. I keep saying to them when they talk about Salido, I'm saying let's make the fight now and see what happens. I'm telling you now, Salido would get the beating of his life.
Of course.
Yeah. He'd quit.
He quit.
You know, Salido. Hey, Salido. What these fanboys don't realise is Salido went life and death with Rocky Martinez. Look what Lomachenko did to Rocky Martinez. It wasn't even competitive for a second of that fight.
When was the last time?
He went life and death with Lomachenko with all the help from the referee in that fight.
Let's be honest, man. Lomachenko, I don't think Lomachenko's lost a round in his career since that Salido fight. I mean, maybe he lost a few to Russell Jr. maybe, but he's not lost a round since that year. I mean, we're talking Lomachenko's not lost a round for about 4 years now.
And the Salido fight was close.
Shows you how good. It just shows how good Loma is, mate. Because Gary Russell Jr., like I said, for me, the fastest hands in boxing. If he starts landing combinations on you and you're not slick, you're getting tagged up. Just like Johnny Gonzalez. Johnny Gonzalez couldn't live with Gary Russell. Yet Lomachenko made this guy look so pathetic and amateurish. I mean,
he made him look bad.
It was embarrassing. And Gary Russell, like I said, I don't care what anyone says. You can say what you like about Gary Russell. Gary Russell Jr. is a world-class fighter. And against anyone else but Lomachenko, he has a very good chance of winning.
Well, I wanted to get back to that about Gary Russell Jr. because he, some people, you guys were saying, well, he doesn't have the heart, or at least he said he's not really into boxing. He doesn't really love it, which is interesting because he's got the hand speed. He's been sitting down on his punches more, it would appear, especially since he's got 3 straight TKO. So he's trying to make something happen, but whether he has all the power, all the speed in the world, it might not help him out all that much if the fight against Joseph Diaz becomes a hard one. Then again, he stuck around against Lomachenko in the last couple of rounds, which shows you that he does have the heart to stick around. So I don't see this being easy for Joseph Diaz.
I think the typical Mexican style is suited for Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell Jr. will box that Mexican style every day of the week. He's just you can't come with a brawling style like the Mexican style against Gary Russell Jr. You're going to get tagged up and beaten up. You have to have more to your game. You have to have a lot of boxing ability, footwork, speed. I don't think a lot of these Mexicans come with that. Mexicans come with heart, determination, desire to win, incredible punching power and punching numbers. But I just don't think that's a style to beat Gary Russell Jr. I really don't.
I've got a question for the panel. Who do you think would win between Gary Russell Jr. and Lee Selby?
That's a tough one, man. Lee Selby, I mean, he can box too.
That's a very tough fight to call, man. I think Lee Selby, I'm picking Lee Selby but I wouldn't be confident doing it. Lee Selby has to be constantly working. He can't have breathers. He can't be, you know, taking it easy and being lackluster. Yeah, I think I'm just picking Selby for his boxing ability and his range, but it's a tough fight to call.
Yeah, that's why I asked, because I feel like out of all the fights in that division, that's the one fight where I feel like I just wouldn't be able to pick a winner, I don't think.
Well, I wanted to mention something that Stu said. I don't think Joseph Diaz Jr. fights exactly with that come forward style. He's more of a boxer with fast hands. So I think against Gary Russell Jr., or unless Gary Russell Jr. changes his tune and starts coming forward, or vice versa, I think
it's not really a. Russell Jr. doesn't fight on the back foot though.
It's not. You know, I'm not saying he's the fucking typical Mexican come forward brawler. He is. Obviously he's a boxer, but the Mexicans, it's just in it, mate. They're gonna go to war. Mexicans put their lives on the line every time they get in the ring, and it's just them. It's just the way they're born and bred. And I think.
Unless they're Mikey Garcia.
Yeah, I mean, Mikey. I think Mikey's. He's Mexican. He's Mexican by name, but I think deep down he's becoming an American liberal cook.
An American liberal cook.
You're like Mikey Garcia, man. Like, you know, the thing is that Garcia. I don't want to go off topic, but Garcia for me, since he's come back, I've not been impressed with his comeback at all, man. You know, like he's not fighting anyone that people want to see. He fought Lipinets. I mean, he seems to be kind of, I don't want to say cherry picking, but he really is kind of cherry picking easy totals. You know, really. You know, he's not fighting anyone late. I mean, he didn't fight Linares. Yeah, realistically, the only fight that Michael Garcia should be looking at is the winner of Lomachenko Linares. That's the only fight you should be looking at.
Hey, do you guys think Hugo Centeno, or ask Stu, do you think Hugo Centeno Jr. will come forward and bring the Mexican style to Charlo?
Yeah, he will, and he'll get flatlined for it.
I think so too.
Yeah, he's gonna get butchered against Charlo.
He fights on the. He fights more like a slick style though for a Mexican from Oxnard.
But he's not even slick.
Jab and he uses length.
Charlo, man.
I think what it is with a lot. I think what it is with a lot of Mexicans, right? Even when they've got the ability to fight on the back foot and make an easy night's work of it, it's just bred in them to put a performance on by the crowd, because Mexicans have been spoiled with entertaining fighters, and if you don't put on a show, then you're nobody. Look at Miguel Vasquez. Miguel Vasquez, very slick Mexican, very hard to beat, very tricky, horrible to watch, but and no Mexican fans whatsoever. No one backed him. You have to, you know, it's a culture thing with the Mexicans, and I think that's the problem. I think they get dragged into a war they have no business getting into, and it costs them.
Yeah, that's the ones that aren't. Because listen,
sounds like growing up in California. Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna put pressure, you better have something to back it up. Because I mean, you take a look at a guy like Urbano Antillon, who he had the heart, but his chin wasn't the most solid. Neither was his defense, and he would come forward and he would get knocked out. If you're gonna be fighting, that's why the most successful guys, pressure fighters, are the ones that have a good chin. Solid defense, you know, at least a good guard, and power to keep backing the other guy up. If you don't have power, like for example, Juan Diaz, he was a come forward fighter with fast hands, but he couldn't punch. So when he finally met somebody that could match his punch output and who could outpower him, he was done for. He wasn't going to start boxing all of a sudden. So if you're going to be a pressure fighter, you better know how to punch, better have a good chin and solid defense. Otherwise, you're going to get run over. And Hugo Centeno, by the way, I don't even think he's that slick, if we're gonna use that word. I prefer to use the word slippery, but yeah, he's not even that technically sound.
No, he's kind of goofy and uncoordinated, but I think he got there from just growing up I used to watch him box as an amateur, and he's very technically sound and shit, but he's not very athletic.
He's
Nah, that's the
unorthodox.
point.
He's unorthodox.
He's what?
See, the problem with Mexican fight, they've got no amateur background.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they start at 15 years old and they're fighting grown ass men, and they're chucked into the lion's den of kids, and they become war torn. So you get a Mexican fighter, the time he's like 30, it's like a 50-year-old fighter in there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, unless your name's Alvarez, Canelo Alvarez. I mean, like
Canelo is a very slick,
Here we go.
he's a very good fighter, Canelo Alvarez.
Slick.
Very hard to hit. Yeah, I think Canelo's slick.
No, don't use that word. Don't use that word.
No, his head movement, his head movement and how he rides shots. He's a very smart, intelligent fighter. Canelo is more like an African American fighter than he is a Mexican fighter. If you get what I'm saying, Thomas.
All right, let me just remind you.
Hey, you stupid fucks, listen up!
No using of the word slick on this podcast. I hate using the word slick. If you want to say defensively sound, slippery, okay, but no slick.
Come on, man! Fuck's sake! Well, you know, at the end of the day, what do you want? What do you want me to say, man? Oh, he's a very slippery operator. Come on.
That's right. That's right. That's a rule we have here.
And can I ask, Rox? Obviously, this is obviously got put on before I joined the show. Why aren't we allowed to use the word slick?
I don't know.
Well, look, listen, because Bucho and I were discussing this in a couple of episodes ago. We don't really know what the word slick is. What does it mean? Does it mean hard to hit? Or does it mean being able to roll with the...
A slick guy. A slick guy is a guy that looks smooth with his movement. He's riding shots, and he looks good. He looks good on the back foot. You know, I'm not saying he's exciting. Being slick doesn't mean you're exciting, but it just means you're very hard to hit and very elusive. And we have to use the word for it. And
okay, so
I would call it like Sugar Ray Leonard Ali, like Sugar Ray Leonard or something.
Okay, well, hold on a second. Here's a question.
He's not a back foot defensive fighter.
Here's my question.
Canelo Alvarez is a very smart defensive fighter.
Here's my question.
He'll sit on the ropes and ride shots. Golovkin, let's be real. Golovkin was throwing monster shots at this guy, and Golovkin was struggling to connect on the button. He was.
Slippery, oily, greasy. Use those words.
He's slippery. But, you know, at the end of the day, I don't want to get into the argument about using fucking slick.
Listen. Here's my point. Let's say somebody's hard to hit and he's called slick. How about a guy who blocks everything with his gloves? Is that slick?
No, but that's an Arthur Abraham style. Where you just walk forward with your gloves up, hoping that he don't connect you on the button.
Okay.
You know, fighters like that suffer from burst eardrums on a constant basis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I bet Abraham can't even hear the fucking alarm clock waking him up in the morning. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. So now, but here's my thing. How about somebody? How about somebody like Rosendo Alvarez, who used to keep his gloves up, but he would roll his body so that the glove would hit the other guy's glove would hit his hand, but he would roll with it at the same time. Is that considered slick?
I think you know what, right? A lot of people define the word slick in different ways. I think the term gets overused a lot. Especially when it comes to Cubans. You know what I mean? I mean, a lot of these Cubans aren't even slick, man. I think the word slick.
The problem is,
I would say slick is trying to go 12, win slightly on points without getting knocked out. That's to me.
I think the word slick gets associated with a lot of black fighters.
You're on the back foot, and all of a sudden you're slick. Yeah. It's like you're on the back foot. That's not slick. Come on.
I think if you got a bit of footwork and a black six pack, you're slick. But it doesn't work like that.
I heard
there's a lot of fighters that.
You know, when Lara fought Alvarez, there was so many people saying Lara was slick and everything like that. He wasn't slick. He's never been. Lara's probably one of the worst sort of comparisons you can make to slick, especially when it comes to Cubans. He's probably the most less slick fighter out there for him.
All right, but here's the thing. Like Cameron said, I think you can define slick. Different people have different definitions of slick. Here's my thing. Cameron has different definitions. We were talking one day. He goes, "Well, BDA, you say potato, I say potato." You know, we were talking about the Holocaust, and he says, "Well, BDA, you say 6 million died, I say 0." I mean, listen, you have to. I said, but you know, Cameron, you can say that, man. You can say that about the Holocaust. So we need definitions, and we need to come to concise agreements and settle this issue. You know what I mean?
I agree with Cameron.
Wait a minute. About what? About the slickness or about the Holocaust?
Never mind. No, I don't want
yeah, exactly.
He's on about
the air. So,
recognizes on about the arse eating again.
Obviously, I'm kidding about Cameron and the Holocaust. But look, no. But see, here's the thing.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, just like what Bucho made a good point, which is, you know, let's say you're a guy that uses your feet to get in and out, and you're barely hit. Would that be considered slick?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
It's not getting hit.
Slick guy.
In and out.
A slick guy is a guy that moves well and's hard to hit. It's simple as that. It's not rocket science. You don't have to connect the dots. You know,
they don't take no risk.
It's just simple as that.
I think Lomachenko can be defined as that.
No, but you can be a risk. It's being slick doesn't mean you're a defensive, boring fighter. It doesn't. Being slick means
I think Lomachenko is one of the
hard
best
to hit.
Slick, man. I think Loma's probably one of the best definitions of slick.
Not really. He goes for the kill, I think, though.
Lomachenko's the slickest guy in boxing. But
he goes for the finish, though. He doesn't run away. He's always in your face.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like,
this is my point, Michael. This is my point, Michael. Being slick doesn't mean you're a defensive fighter that sits on the back foot and pops.
No, that's my definition of slick. That's what BDA is asking. Like, what is your guys' definition?
About? But that's not the not the definition.
I'm confused.
You can be because it's not it's not easy, but Joe, you just you fucking don't have to have half a brain cell to work it out, right? So, I
mean, someone else is in the chat, man.
Yeah, that's Boxing Styles. Boxing Styles, are you there?
Fuck me, man. You were trolling me in the chat the other day, weren't you, man? Fuck's sake.
What was he trolling you about?
About the arse eating shit.
Oh, come on. That's just...
Everyone was.
Yeah, everyone was.
It's Chris Gonzalez in the chat telling me that I ate arse and forgot all about it. I'm trying.
Now he should be here.
I never troll, Ken.
Nah, man, I'm messing about, man. I saw your comments. It was all good.
Now, listen.
It was kind of trolling, not exactly.
I enjoy trolling, man. It's always
I'll tell you what,
I like it.
It was slick.
Cameron, I was a bit worried. Hey, Cameron, I was a bit worried about you, bro. I actually clicked on your Twitter link just to see if you was getting any shit or not about your ass licking. Do you know what I mean?
Nah, man, it was all good. I actually got none apart from on the YouTube chat.
Yeah, because like I said, mate, the boxing. Listen, Cameron, the boxing community. I mean, you won't find a bigger bunch of degenerates anywhere in the world. So I'm sure they've done a lot worse.
Yeah, man.
All right, so let's get away from the ass eating and from the slickness, the definition of slick. And by the way, slick and ass could go together. That could be a good conversation, slick asses. But listen, we're not going to talk about that right now.
Yes, slick ass licking.
Yeah, slick ass licking. There you go. Make that ass slick with your tongue.
Still very slick when it comes to asses. He avoids them.
I'll fucking do, mate. Hey, I'll tell you what, right? Hey, when it comes to asses, I'm Guillermo Rigondeaux.
Oh man!
Are you quitting? Are you quitting before you even start it?
Yeah, I'm quitting on the stool, so not for me tonight.
But before I hit the road, I need my cock sucked.
I'm not fucking Timothy Bradley. I am, man. I'm in the trenches and I'm getting bashed up. I'm fucking sticking in there and carrying on, man.
There you go.
I tell you what, right? I've got so much Bradley.
Cameron, you're a trooper.
I don't understand what Stu's saying about Lomachenko. He didn't get to finish.
Yeah,
Timothy Bradley he's everything that LDBC hate. He's a black guy with education. Do you know what I mean? He's got a heart of a lion. you know, and he's not a racist. So it's everything they hate about.
I got a question.
This guy.
I have a question. Why did
tell you what, right? I don't care what you say, right? Timothy Bradley is a warrior. The
why did he retire anyway?
Ultimate warrior, and he deserves pound or dollar he's earned. I've got nothing but respect and love for Timothy Bradley. I'm sorry he's not your thug, homo thug. That, you know.
I got a question. Why did Timothy Bradley retire? Because I still.
I'll tell you what, right?
He retired because he health and
it's either.
It was his health, man. Wasn't it?
It's not that. Retire or get Parkinson's. It's either a Parkinson's disease.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, because
fight, he said after the Provodnikov fight, 3 months after that fight, he started training for the Marquez fight, and he had to delay it, didn't he? Because he was still pissing blood and his speech was slurred. 3 months after.
Timothy Bradley's face was after that Provodnikov fight. His face was drooping to the side for many moons.
Yeah,
I thought he should have knocked out by that Provodnikov fight. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, you know what? That's why I love Bradley, because he only fought like that because he lost so many fans because of that bullshit decision against Pacquiao that he wanted to win the fans back over. He could have outboxed Provodnikov, no problem, but he stood and traded with him and beat him in the game.
Yeah, do you know the thing is, right? Hey, that thing with Timothy Bradley, I lost a lot. This is when my love for Manny Pacquiao disintegrated a little bit, and his fans. The way these fans treat Timothy Bradley, right? Let me tell you something now. Timothy Bradley, it's not his fault. Them judges were an absolute disgrace and robbed him. Yeah. Timothy Bradley just went in the. He fought Manny Pacquiao, did his best he could. His legs were all over the place. Well, it was like
he got
Forrest Gump. It was like Forrest Gump in there. You know, his fucking legs kept giving his eye. And it's not his fault that the judges gave it to fucking Bradley. But this guy was getting called the fucking N-word, fucking all sorts.
You got death threat.
I mean, it was disgraceful behaviour the way he was treated. And this is the problem with Timothy Bradley. All the bullying he got, he went into the ring thinking about this bullying and changed his game plan up. And he went to war with guys that he could have boxed easily and had a comfortable night. But he went to war to please the fans, and it's cost him his health.
Well, from that standpoint,
you can't blame. Sorry about that video. You can't blame Timothy Bradley for the Pacquiao thing because they did the same thing with Jeff Horn.
Bob Arum, man. It's all down to Bob Arum, man. Bob Arum was a fucking master puppet behind that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, the thing about Bradley fighting the way he did in the second fight.
I think the problem with Timothy Bradley. I think this is the worst mistake he ever made in his life. When he got that decision, he jumped on the ropes, celebrating like he'd KO'd somebody.
That's true, man.
That's a good point. Now, here's the thing about Timothy Bradley in the rematch against Pacquiao was he had, according to Roy Jones, and I don't know if this, I think Timothy Bradley confirmed it prior to the second fight or afterwards, so that he was trying to, because he saw the Juan Miller Marquez fight and said, listen, I can't outbox him. Based, like in the first fight, he didn't seem convinced that he had been able to outbox back. He said, let me try and fight more aggressively. And he got tired from swinging like a madman after the 8th round. Now, in the third fight, I thought he mixed the best of both worlds. He tried to, again, time Pacquiao, but this time he fought a more reserved fight. And this was a Pacquiao that was 4 years older than the first time they met. And Pacquiao, I thought that was his best performance.
Let's keep it. Timothy Bradley smashed Marquez to pieces. I don't care what anyone says. Marquez, the guy that knocked Manny Pacquiao clean out, sleeping for like a week, right? The next fight, Timothy Bradley terrorized Marquez, even hurt him in the last round. And Bradley's not a big puncher. Bradley is a very, very good fighter. I think he lost both fights to Manny Pacquiao. He knows that deep down, but we can't terrorize the man for a decision made by the judges.
Yeah, that was mostly. I'm gonna venture to say that it was mostly Filipinos who started sending him the hate mail because they didn't like to see their.
Where's the side?
We have some hate on the chat.
Bradley, man. Bradley was tall. You look at his resume. He had one of the best resumes in boxing. The only person that beat him his whole career was Manny Pacquiao. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
Exactly. Yeah, he's the guy.
Bradley came to England and beat the shit out of Junior Witter. Right, Junior Witter. You've mentioned this guy before. Very Ingle fighter from the Ingle gym. Very difficult to beat. Very fucking tricky. And Timothy Bradley came to England, beat Devin Alexander when he was unbeaten. When Devin Alexander had beat Madonna and Kotelnik, Timothy, it's probably the worst fight one of the worst fights I've ever seen in my life. It was a headbutt fest, but at the end of the day, Timothy Bradley got the job done. Timothy Bradley, very good fight.
In the chat, we have people saying that Stu is using racial undertones. Then somebody else is saying, "Is this a Stu show? Let others talk, man. Let other people talk." And then we have another one says, "Stu talks too much and exaggerates his points way too much."
Nah, man, I don't know. There's a lot of shit in the chat, man. It's not true.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just looking at the chat now.
You know what? Here's the thing with Stu, with him talking. Sometimes remember, he's got a bad connection. So when we start speaking, he only gets to hear it 2 seconds after we started talking.
Is Stu the new Lopez? I don't think so.
No, he's not.
No way, man.
Exactly.
I don't know why they're saying that he's exaggerating. I don't. Can you remember in the chat? Can you guys be more specific? Because I don't know.
I don't understand that, man. I don't. I think like everybody. I think everybody gets their own word. I've never sat and thought, "Oh, yeah, Stu's talking too much." Never.
No, but he's exaggerating in some points. I don't know what they mean by that.
I don't get that either.
You know what?
I tell it how it is. Listen, do you think I give a flying shit about my lives?
I think you do a little bit.
Sitting in a I mean, these guys, no women, no life, living in a mum's basement.
I've always wondered, like, I don't understand why people in the chat, man. I always thought it was people in the chat. Why don't they just come on the call, man, and air their thoughts?
I'll tell you what, because you know why? Because they don't have the bollocks.
Stu claims Pacquiao was out. Stu claims Pacquiao was out for a week.
Okay, is that what they're complaining about? That he's using colorful language to try to flare up some of the things he's saying? Of course, those are you know, he's playing with words.
Is that Pacquiao fight with Matisse done?
Listen here. What colourful language have I used?
No, what I'm saying, first of all, hold on. I'm defending you. I'm saying because somebody's complaining.
I know you are.
Okay.
But I want to know what they're trying to say. What colourful language have I used?
They're busting your balls, man. That's all they're doing. Stu, they're busting your balls. You said you don't give a fuck, so don't even address it. Just keep doing.
I'll stop reading the comments, man.
Yeah, and Bucha started all this by reading the comments.
I don't give a flying shit.
Well, there you go. Oh, and by the way, I just realized we got we got Precise on the line.
Dependent upon how you interpret the data.
What's up with all the transvestites in Hollywood, though?
Because if you're a postmodernist and you don't have any standards, you're always going to keep moving the goalpost, and you're never going to stick to your own standards because you don't have any standards.
That's right. Postmodernism, Jacques Derrida. We don't do that
all
here.
that shit.
What's that?
That's eating and all that shit.
It may not be the Stu show, but it's about to turn into Precise show.
What do you mean by that? Wait a minute. What do you mean by that? Okay, let's let Precise introduce himself. Precise, are you there?
Standards.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I am here.
Thanks for being on. Always appreciate your time, Precise. I don't know if you've been listening to the show, but people were giving Stu a hard time because he was. I don't even know exactly why they were giving him a hard. I think they were just busting his balls.
That's because Stu's the man. That's why.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Stu just has to do.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah.
This is why I always back Precise Percent, because he understands these fucking morons that we have to deal with.
He's calling our audience morons. I'm not gonna stand for that. I gotta tell you that much. I'm not gonna stand for that. I will fight you, Stu.
Man, let's be honest, man. Like, they're giving Stu the heat. If you can give it, you gotta take it.
Not my audience. My audience the best. My audience high quality. My audience brings quality. And I will defend each and one of them until the day I die.
No, the audience, man. I'll give respect. The audience to BDA have always been good to me. So, yeah, I'll give them respect.
And by the way, why does...
that?
Yeah,
these are the same. I used to get this when I used to do at a channel and I used to do videos. I used to have these same guys calling me all these sorts of names, telling me I was deluded, telling me I'm a racist. Yeah, they comment on every one of my videos, which means they're watching.
Exactly. There you go.
So, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I'm here to just tell it how it is, right?
I just don't get why. I just don't get why Stu is a racist. Nothing he said was racial.
You know, all the people with this whole like white supremacy shit. You guys need to get a little bit more creative, man. You guys need to come up with some new shit because it's getting fucking old, man.
Right, I tell you what, I'm not a racist, but if I see one of you fucking guys, right, when I'm driving down the road, it's -20 outside. I'm driving past you. You're sitting there with your chop on, flagging a lift. You know, and 20 minutes away from you losing your life, I'd drive past you.
Will you unleash your dogs?
All right, who's crumbling?
What the fuck? Okay, you need to mute your mic, man.
Yeah, who's crumbling paper?
No, I don't know who it is. Stu, would you unleash your dogs? Would you unleash your dogs on these people?
I tell you what, right? Of course I would. If they turned up on my land and I didn't appreciate them turning up, I'd unleash my dogs on them. Of course I would. You're talking to a country boy now. I live in the country, right? No one would know you was even here. I'd bury you in my land and no one would know you was even here.
Oh my goodness gracious.
So this is what you're dealing with, guys. No, I'm only joking.
Hey, no, wait a minute. I got a question,
guys,
man. I got a question. Why does Rodty Davis, shout out to Rodty in the chat, he keeps calling Stu S-T-E-W, like a stew, like, you know, like a broth or like a meat stew. Why? I don't know if he's doing that on purpose.
Is that the guy?
That's the American guy.
No, he's from the UK. He used to have a band back in the 1970s called Silverhead. Pretty good. I mean,
Rod T, man. I actually, you know, Stu's a country guy. I actually want. I know you're going to do a bit of guitar for me for my solo. I actually want, you know, some country background for my intro. So I'll give you an email and we'll sort that out, man. I appreciate it.
See, the thing is, right? My mother, my mother is an Irish gypsy, right? And I've probably got 60 cousins. I've probably got all around my family, right? And I'd say 20 of them are bare knuckle fighters. I've been brought up around that rough fucking lifestyle, so I've seen it all. So when these guys fucking are texting me, threatening my life and that lot, you know, I'll gladly give them my details because it'll be the last journey they ever make.
You don't want to do that. First
I don't get upset about.
Stu, it's just trolling, bro. Relax.
No, but the thing is, it's not trolling. The thing is, you know, it's not trolling because these guys have made my life a misery for many moons. I've had guys threatening to. I've had guys threatening to rape my daughter and that lot.
Yeah, I saw that, man.
Yeah, I gotta apologize.
What's his name? Jackie Chan, no, something like that.
Jackie Chan.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was the name of the guy. Remember?
That's a retarded shit.
I've seen when I was following your channel, Stu, I saw some real fucking ruthless trolls with fucking vile comments, man.
Well, there you go, and then they get and then people wonder why I'm on the defensive all the time because this is what I have to put up with. But you know, it's boxing at the end of the day. I love everybody. I'm not gonna get into wars with people over a boxing fight. But if you're gonna threaten me, then
you're all about peace and love. I can hear it in your voice, man.
That's right, peace and love. And by the way, for that person about that comment about your daughter, I gotta apologize. I didn't mean to say that. I just got a little carried away. But look, listen, we have to move on. Let's actually get into a little.
That was you.
Let's. No, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. That wasn't me.
He's just trolling. But you know what? Fuck you can tell him. I'm gonna go over.
I'm not gonna repeat jokes, man. We gotta move on, man. We got boxing now. Listen, now that everybody's here, we got a full house. I gotta play you something because I was listening to what's his name? Okay, Bucho sent me a video of gypsy boxers. But listen, I'll play that later. We have to get down to business here. I was watching Brandon Schaub's podcast, or listening to it rather, and you know, he was with Paulie Malignaggi, and they started talking about something that's really I've been interested in that since it happened in 2009. Paulie Malignaggi started going into Canelo Alvarez about steroids, and then he made some very interesting comments about Manny Pacquiao. So I'll play it for you, right? And then we can talk about it.
the first time I realized it would smack me in the head was Pacquiao Cotto. Pacquiao Cotto to me was like, Pacquiao still hasn't been caught. For me, he's like the Lance Armstrong of boxing.
Yeah.
You know? But I'm like, for me, I'm like, wow. I was like, I thought I was watching that fight and it was so bad. Like, it was so obvious because the pace of the fight, I knew the power puncher Cotto is, and this guy was a former flyweight, featherweight, taking punches off him. Like, he was wiping off Cotto's punches like they were spit. You know when somebody spits on you, like, you just wipe it off and get double mad? Yeah. Like, I was like, this guy, Cotto's too big of a puncher for an ex-featherweight to be taking these kind of shots and ripping him, you know? So I'm like, I thought when I was watching the fight, the next day everybody was going to come down on him. You know, because I was watching the fight like, this guy thinks we're all stupid. I'm watching the fight myself and thinking in my head, this guy thinks we're all that stupid, aren't we? This guy's obviously an exaggeration. He thinks people are really that stupid. And the next day I'm expecting all the headlines to come down on him. Instead, it was all just praise. And I thought I remember that was the night and then day that I realized.
All right. So essentially he's saying when he was watching Pacquiao Cotto, then he said, okay, this guy Pacquiao is on something. I don't know about you guys. Is that the first thing you thought of when you saw the fight, or was it the weight, the catch weight that pissed you off more?
The first thing I thought of was Paulie Malignaggi saying before the fight that if Pacquiao beats Cotto, he's got to be one of the greatest fighters of all time. Yeah. That's what I remember.
What I remember from that little sound bit was that people spit in Paulie Malignaggi's face. You heard him say, you ever had like somebody spit in your face?
Oh, hey, that's a good point, man.
Only a woman, man. Only a woman.
Jeez, that's a good fucking catch right there, man. That is a good catch. Paulie Malignaggi getting spit on. Who the hell's spitting on him? Anyway, but yeah, so he was saying that about.
Why would we think Pacquiao was on steroids?
Well, I guess he's saying because.
Man, sure he was, but Paulie Malignaggi got all kinds of needles stuck in his ass at the Jersey Shore, and he still couldn't fucking crack an eggshell. So fuck him.
Well, that's
He's
the other
just
thing.
jealous because it didn't work for him the way it did for Pacquiao.
That's
How many divisions did Pacquiao go up? Like 5 or something?
8, wasn't it?
13.
13? It weren't 13 divisions, was it?
Yeah, it was.
He started his career at minimum weight.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you could say that he was using.
He didn't compete in all those divisions. He didn't fight in all those divisions, but he skipped.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I mean, obviously, he won 8 world titles in divisions, but yeah, I know what you're saying.
That's it. Yeah.
People are saying 8 divisions in the chat.
Well, I mean, he won titles in 8 divisions.
Oh, right.
That's why when they compare him to Mayweather, it's like not even a competition. The weight divisions he went up.
Yeah, but Mayweather started jumping divisions when he was 20-something, like lightweight, junior lightweight, junior welterweight.
For his pro debut, he had to put weights in his pocket to make minimum weight. He couldn't even get to the weight.
Anyway, Malignaggi then went on to say in the same interview that if he was 22 now, he would seriously consider taking PEDs just in order to compete with these guys. But again, I mean, Pacquiao gets targeted because of all the weight classes he jumped. Then again, if you want to defend him, you could say, well, listen, he started boxing when he was 16 as a pro, or even younger, or around that age. He was a teenager, essentially, when he started boxing as a pro. So would it be really that impressive to think that this guy could go up a couple of weight divisions when he was in his 20s and 30s? I don't think so. But, we've touched...
weight divisions, though, man.
Was that?
That's a lot of weight divisions, though.
Yeah, but he's 16. I mean, and he's from a third world country, undernourished too, probably. So once he started eating, I don't know. Look, listen, do I think he was on something? Maybe he was on EPO because his stamina was insane. But Paulie Malignaggi, I want to go back to Malignaggi's point, which is saying that nowadays, if you want to be a boxer, you have to be on that stuff. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to compete. I think in combat sports, you can compete because let's face it, if you're doing like a track and field, right, and you're running the 100-meter race, if the other guy's faster than you, it's over. That's what it's all about. It's about speed. It's not about technique, really. Boxing, though, if you are the better man, sometimes you can beat guys, even if they're roided to the gills or if they're on,
You don't have to be on roids. I mean, some people are special. They got great stamina ever since they were born, man.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends. Majority, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, that's the thing, because if you're already good and now you're taking PEDs, then you're taking it too far because you're already one of the good guys in terms of technique. Maybe you got special speed, special power, and now you're taking PEDs so that your stamina and your endurance is to the max. That's when it starts getting disgusting.
BDA,
if you think, yes,
they've been doing this for forever.
Mm-hmm.
I played sports all my life. I play just about every. You want to go to the next level. Most of those guys are messing with that. That's what they do.
Oh yeah.
In America, they start in high school. Come on, man.
They started. This was in high school. This was in the 90s.
Yeah, the scouts won't look at you unless they see big arms and legs and shit. If you're still like developing as a teen, like they're gonna just overlook you. Like, oh, you're not big.
You got kids in high school bench pressing 350 pounds, man. Like, it's retarded. Like, why do you think all these American Olympians are all jacked like crazy, more so than anybody else? Why? Because they've been fucking juicing since they were kids. That's just a well-known fact.
What was that thing that Matrix said? 500 pounds in high school, man? That's crazy.
Yeah, think about that. 500 pounds. The most I ever maxed in my grown-ass prime life was 380.
Pussy.
380 pounds. Now, that's pretty impressive.
Pretty good.
For I guess, for myself, right? But when you're talking about a 17-year-old who could bench press 120 pounds more than me, that means he was stronger than me at 17. He would have thrown me all over the place.
It's crazy though. It's crazy though. Like a world record raw benching is like 738, something like that.
That's
Russian.
Insane. That's insane.
And he's already there, like 500 by high school. Man, that's insanity.
Sugar Shane Mosley at 160 pounds when he wasn't fighting, right? 160 in his prime. When he wasn't in the ring, he was 160 pounds shredded. Could bench press 400 pounds. I mean, that's insane.
You never failed a drug test, bro.
Never failed a drug test. How about baseball? 2003, they hold a secret test, right? And 105 baseball players tested dirty, right? It's a secret test. They wanted to find out how bad the situation was before they start making PED testing and rules for failures, right? 105 that got busted. Think about that for a second. And like 9 of them leaked out. So we don't know who these guys are. Now, this is an IQ test, basically, from the way I understand baseball's PED testing, and especially the secret test. So you got 105. So active players that are on the roster. Maybe I'm a little bit off, but maybe it's about 600 players altogether. Okay, 105 failed the test. A simple IQ test, basically. You know what I'm saying? So how many guys are on it at the major league level on a baseball roster? And that's just one sport. That's it. That's just one.
Everybody,
sport.
Every single one of them is on something.
And to this day, we don't know who the 100 are. We know 9 of the 100. Excuse me. So we don't know about a good 90 of who those baseball players are.
So it was an anonymous test, huh?
Yeah, anonymous test.
By the way, would any of you guys be a little intimidated if you get your wife or girlfriend and all of a sudden this 16-year-old, 15-year-old football player who can bench 400 pounds comes around her or something? Would you guys be a little intimidated by that?
Fine, go.
Intimidated / turned on, maybe? I don't know, depending on your preferences.
Dude, I live around this 22-year-old kid that he's like, I guess you could say my next door neighbor, right? He's about 6'5" or something like that. This kid is built like a house. I know he could bench definitely like 400 pounds at least.
Jeez.
So yeah, when that guy walks by my wife, I make sure there's no eye contact.
Oh, man. Hey, but it's interesting. Yeah, it's interesting. Now that we talk about football, let's switch the conversation a little bit from roids to brain damage, because here's the thing that I've always been curious about, and I hope some of you can answer these questions or tell me your opinions about it. What do you think is more let's say you have children. Which would you rather they do, boxing or football? Which one's more dangerous for the brain long term?
Football.
Boxing. I'd rather boxing. I'd rather than box.
Football's more dangerous, I think.
I'd rather do I'd rather my kid, if I had one, do boxing and football 100%. I mean, obviously over here, your football is football. When we say it's soccer, but I know what you're saying. But in that sort of aspect, yeah, I'd rather do boxing.
Them head-on collisions that they do each other, man, it's ridiculous.
Exactly. Yeah, the whole body collision. It's like crashing in a car. I mean, I understand. Listen, if you're punching somebody and you knock him out, sometimes it's the blow to the actual canvas when they go down that actually does most of the damage. But football...
I thought baseball hurt more than football. Just throw that out there.
You used to play baseball?
Yeah, I played both football and boxing and baseball.
By the way, are you Dominican?
Out of all three, the most dangerous or most threatening was probably baseball. Then 2, I would say maybe football, depending on what you were playing, you know. And then like at amateur boxing, you wear thick gloves and headgear, so it's not that dangerous.
But wait
a minute, played baseball. What, the ball hits the head? That's why it's dangerous.
Like a lot of reasons. When in football, you guys are talking about head collisions. The players collide heads too, and they don't have helmets on. And they're running full speed. And they're not even looking at each other at times. They're just trying to catch the ball, and the players will bump heads running full speed.
All right, so you used to get... So Michael used to have balls thrown at his face, a little bit like Malignaggi with the spit. Malignaggi with the spit. But yeah, it's interesting because, I mean, okay, let's put it this way. A lot of these football players, we see them going around when they're retired, you know, they end up getting into shootings or beating up their wives, or they get into spousal abuse and they get dementia. Does anybody remember which boxer from the last, because sometimes the less famous ones, we don't get to hear about them too much after they retire, but like what about Roy Jones Jr.? We were talking about him last episode. He's been knocked out a whole bunch of times. Do you think in the next couple of years he's going to start showing, or has he already started showing signs of that damage?
It doesn't make sense half the time he's commentating a fight. It doesn't make any sense. To me, anyway. He used to make a lot more sense, but some of the shit he says now is just like, what are you saying, Roy?
Biased commentating, man. It's biased commentating. You know
yeah,
this.
maybe.
I think the best one, you know, I think James Tony's a better example than Roy Jones. I mean, Tony can't string a sentence together anymore.
You know what? It's actually improved a little bit. It's actually improved. I think it can improve if you stop taking punches, but I don't think it ever, like Terry Norris, for example, his was bad. It was just, I think it was Margaret Goodman, Dr. Margaret Goodman, who had talked about, like, he still wanted to fight at some point, and then they held a hearing, and she was telling him, look, you can't fight, you got brain damage, and he didn't believe her. And then they showed him in court, well, not in court, but during the hearing, they showed him a tape of him talking when he was in his prime, and then they showed him a tape of him speaking at that current time, which was really slurred, and he broke down and started crying because he realized his speech was gone, man. And I think it got a little better, but it never go like those brain cells. I don't think you can ever get them back, man, unless we're talking about neuroplasticity, which is supposedly the concept that the brain starts compensating for certain flawed features or damaged parts of the brain. But I don't think that applies when you're talking about this type of brain damage.
Maybe
this is James Tony.
Explains the way I talk, I think.
Maybe stem cells.
Yeah,
stem
I don't know.
cells will work out.
You think that that shit fixes the brain? Stem cells?
I don't know. I've never heard of brain cell damage, but I've heard of some crazy shit with stem cells.
Yeah, when it comes,
I hear they can do stuff with jellyfish now. Like jellyfish can repair your brain tissue or something.
Okay, I'm gonna look that up right now.
Eating fertile eggs is supposed to be good for that.
I think BDA got brain damage. That's why he's checking the shit out.
Yeah, man.
I think my speech is slurred from all that shit. I think when I was younger, I used to probably speak a lot clearer, but now it's like, or maybe it's something else.
Only in Panama is where they do that kind of stuff. The more authorized versions of stem cells.
Yeah, well, that's what Mel Gibson was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and I think they were talking about that stem cell treatment in Panama, which is one of the few places I think.
I might get brain damage from keep eating arse. All that fucking bacteria keeps coming
you can't.
Tongue damage, not that brain damage.
Yeah, you can get.
Man, I won't be able to. Yeah, man, all my fucking taste sensories will be fucking gone by the time.
Your tongue's gonna fall off. But look, I don't want to. Just real quick here. It says jellyfish protein presents new opportunity for brain health, and then it goes on to say, hold on a second. It says a protein originally found in a jellyfish has been shown to help maintain healthy brain function. Apoaquarin, the active ingredient, is a new dietary supplement. Helps maintain brain health via the maintenance of calcium levels in aging brains. Then you have to become a member to read more. This is from a website called Integrative Practitioner. I don't know if this is a legit website or not, but it's interesting.
Yeah, I think that what jellyfish you're talking about is that immortal jellyfish, right? That they're getting this shit from.
That article's 4 years old, man.
It says from 2016, the one I just read.
No, well, the one that you just read out says May 20th, 2014. The date right there, man.
Wait, hold on a second. Let me check it out. Oh yeah, you're right. The fuck? Because when I go on Google, it says April 7, 2016. It's got a different date. But anyway, yeah, look, going back to the whole brain damage thing, you know, some guys, they don't seem to show too much brain damage. Like, for example, Bernard Hopkins in his 50s now, he always had good, solid defense, barely got really, you know, he barely got his head snapped back too much, which is really the worst thing that can happen, or one of the worst, I should say, in the ring. Football, what makes football that more dangerous? Is it the full body impact? Is it the fact that some of these guys, when they're in high school, you know, they get a concussion and they get sent back into the field? What makes football more dangerous?
It's the concussions, I thought.
And the contact from bigger, you know, a lot of times you get hit by bigger men.
Exactly.
Full contact, boom, you know.
Yeah, I think it's what BDA said is sometimes you can get knocked out, helped off the field. You kind of get your shit together like maybe 15 minutes later or 20 minutes later, and they throw you back out.
It's not only that. What kind of a baseball player are you going to see that has linebacker size thing going on with him? Body.
Baseball has quite a few guys like that at the high level where they're baseball players and
it's rare though.
Athletic, but they look like they can play football. Like one guy that
like Bo Jackson was a badass baseball player and football player.
Look at Mike Trout. Michael, I know you follow baseball. Look at Mike Trout.
Mike Trout could probably play football, yeah.
Dude, he is
a lot of guys probably
like
can.
A house, and his speed is unbelievable.
A lot of those guys were probably high school football stars that chose to be Major League Baseball players instead because they got paid more money.
I could be wrong then.
All right, so if you go to Quora.com, I asked the question. Well, I mean, I didn't ask the question, but I looked it up, and somebody asked the question. It says, which sport is more dangerous to the human brain, MMA fighting or football? Now, I know MMA fighting, the damage is also different from boxing, but it's about the closest thing we've got. So somebody says, he says, to put everything in context, I'm going to say I love football and MMA, and I don't think there's a definitive answer yet. That's what the person is saying. So, and then another person says the science is not solidly established. Then he says, that said, I would say football has the most impact on the brain and MMA the least, he says, because football players take a lot more blows to the head. That's an interesting point because in MMA, let's say, or boxing, you can move your head. You know, you can do certain things to protect yourself. In football, you're not supposed to jump out of the way of the other guy. I mean, you're supposed to, but you know what I mean? It's you're gonna get fucking run into by a 200+ pound guy. Whereas in boxing, okay, you take a punch, maybe you see stars or you see white, but that's not a full-on concussion right there. Then again, you do have micro concussions, right? Like if you see white, that's a concussion, right? If you're seeing stars.
I've never been concussed that bad, dude, to be honest.
When I was younger, when I was in school, I was about 14. I had a head injury from playing from soccer. You know, you'll call it, but from playing football, and I blacked out. You know, I didn't have a concussion, but I was blacking out. Like I had no idea where I was, and all I could see was my eyes. I had my eyes open, but all I saw was just black.
Whoa.
That's severe concussion, man. The type I know that when I get a concussion is that I get headache. Like if I get hit in boxing or any other sport, it doesn't really matter. If I get like massive headache, I know I got some kind of wobbling going down with my brain and the rest of my skull.
Man, you say that as if it's happened often to you.
No, it hasn't happened often, but it does happen.
When did that happen to you? Like, what were you doing?
I had one incident with boxing that I got hit right underneath the chin.
Mm-hmm.
I fell to my knees. I got back up quick, but oh man, my head was like killing me. Like it was, I felt like my head wobbled inside my brain wobbled inside my head.
Right. You should have done a Timothy Bradley. You know, we're talking about that, about Bradley earlier. You should have done what he did against Kendall Holt when he got dropped. He gets back up, and then all of a sudden he takes a knee again, just to, you know, let the clock run out. You're not supposed to jump right. But then again, it's hard when you're on the adrenaline. It's hard to not to want to jump straight back. I mean, is that what you did it to prove to the other guy, hey, I'm not hurt?
Yeah, I didn't get knocked out or some shit like that. That's what I did. I just got back up quick.
yeah. There's the instinct to do that. You know, when you get dropped, you want to jump right away to show, no, I'm not hurt. But yeah, but it's okay. So it's interesting. So you had that. You had the headache afterwards. Did you get nausea or?
No nausea, nothing like that. Just a headache, and it went away after like maybe, I don't know, an hour. Less than that.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing, because somebody told me, hey, listen, if you're going to box, fight, whatever, even karate or taekwondo, you might get knocked out. That's the risk you're taking. The question is, how much of a risk do you want to take? Especially in boxing, with those little-ass gloves, man. Oof, that's got to be a pain in the ass, man. I've never gotten hit with a fucking 8-ounce glove, so I can't imagine what it must feel like. And I hit the canvas that way, oof. But yeah, boxing, man, dangerous sport. Dangerous sport. All right, now, did anybody here, because people are talking about Canelo in the chat room, did anybody of you hear about Canelo getting a surgery on his knee? What the hell was that all about?
Yeah, he got a cyst removed.
No, it was cosmetic, wasn't it? Cosmetic surgery, yeah.
No, he denied that.
It was a cyst.
No, the Golden Boy released a statement saying it was cosmetic, but Canelo later on corrected them.
Yeah, I remember that, because Alvarez was having digs at Eric Gomez in that post on Instagram.
Kind of convenient, isn't it? Kind of convenient. A little weird.
What do you think that means? What is that operation all about?
I don't think it. I'm not really thinking anything. It's just, you know, I don't know. He's taking advantage of this suspension to maybe work out a nagging injury or something that's been there for a while. I don't know, but it's just, I don't know. It just seems a little too convenient for me. You know what I'm saying?
Seems like some cheap ass publicity shit to try to like tell his fans, like, you know, it's not my fault, guys. I'm innocent. Look at me. I'm just a little innocent puppy.
Yeah.
I'm amazed how so many people turned on Golovkin and they're like taking all this out on him for some odd reason.
Golovkin still hasn't got an opponent, has he, for May 5th?
Yes, Varnis.
Is it Varnis, is it?
The sanctioning bodies did not approve him, though.
I know, but still, I'm hoping for it.
If it's Varnis, that is a trash fight.
Don't say that.
Varnis Martirosyan, right? He hasn't fought for 2 years. The last fight he had was Erislandy Lara lost. And he has never fought.
Well, what's he supposed to do? I don't get it. He's not gonna.
Something in your fucking weight division, man.
He's not gonna fight. Charlo's not gonna fight him. Neither of the Charlos are gonna step up and fight him.
Saunders is not. No one's gonna fight him on for short money on short notice. Who's gonna fight him? Honestly,
exactly.
Who's gonna fight?
What about that Russian guy?
No, they ain't got the money.
There's not enough money. Look, he's a mandatory, so he gets at the very least 25% according to the rules. 25% of a well-promoted fight, well ahead of time. You know, that's gonna be what, 1.2 maybe $1 million right now. They offered Spike, I want to say 800 or something like that. And if it wasn't enough for Spike, and if it's not enough for Spike O'Sullivan, how the fuck is that gonna be enough for a top 10 guy?
Spike O'Sullivan should have took that fight, man. 800,000.
Golden Boy paid him off not to take that fight, just to fuck with Golovkin, in my opinion. Because he is fighting.
Andrade is the next choice, but Andrade will might pull out though.
Nah, Andrade. I mean, they're not going to fight somebody like Andrade or Charlo on short notice.
Andre's not going to take this fight. Andre's not going to take this fight because he's a mandatory to Billy Joe Saunders, and that means he gets 25% there if it goes to purse bid, maybe more. It's an easier fight. If he wins the WBO, he gets a lot more money from Golovkin. Right now, there's not even $1 million for him in it, and if he loses his WBO Mandel spot. So no, he's not going to fight Golovkin. No way.
I don't think Andrade beats Saunders anyway, so why not just take the Golovkin for it?
But it's an easier fight.
I think he loses both of them, but I know what you're saying.
But I do sense a fear with Abel Sanchez, the way he's talking about fighting Andrade or Charlo or any of these guys. He's like doubting Triple G because he's afraid that maybe he might age in one fight. He might just all of a sudden age in a fight.
I don't believe in this Andrade. I mean, I like Andrade. I don't believe in the hype. You know, I mean, he's not even proven himself, really.
I don't believe
he got knocked down by Atlantis Fox. He got knocked down by, it's like, who was that guy that knocked him, put him on his ass in his last fight?
He looked trash.
Varnis knocked him down too.
Yeah.
Varnis, I mean, Varnes is horrible to watch.
Oh, he's good, man. He's good. I saw him. I didn't know him at first. When you guys were talking about him, I had no idea about him. Then I checked him out. I'm like, this guy's probably the best. I'm Armenian, so best Armenian guy in the boxing for now. I thought
he's a decent fighter.
Yeah.
He's underrated because Lara got a gift against him, as did Germán.
He beat Lara, man. He beat Lara anything. What's his name?
I thought so too, but it wasn't a robbery.
He schooled
But
the shit out of him, though.
He beat Charlo for sure. He beat him, in my opinion. He did.
Yeah, he beat Jamel. Yeah.
So
there's no money in him, man. Like obviously, like PB, there's no money. He was never gonna get those decisions. There's no money in Varnes.
Yeah, it's true.
But that's the thing. Like he'll take short money. He doesn't have a lot of options. Look, yeah, it's not a great fight, but to me, it's better than no fight. And you know, if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. Like you're not losing anything here. You know, Golovkin. This is what bothers me, man. This dude got into training camp and worked his ass off. Sacrificed all this shit to go through training camp, and now people are telling him, "Oh, don't fight." Like, no. If you don't like the fight, don't watch it. You know what I mean? This dude, he can fight whatever. No, go ahead.
Golovkin should get some compensation, no?
Yeah, but you know, he takes Golden Boy to court. You could forget about the Canelo fight, and unfortunately, they still want that. You should, you know, we all understand why, but I fucking hate the fact that there's these huge A-sides in the sport.
It's beneficial. This whole thing, man. The rematch getting called off and the suspension. I mean, it's not a good look for Alvarez. But in terms of the rematch, it's much better for Alvarez. The longer this fight waits out, the much better it is for him.
What are the chances of Saunders' fight being bigger than Canelo?
No chance.
I want to see that fight next. That's the part I want to see. If you said to me, "Do you want to watch a rematch or do you want to watch Golovkin Saunders?" I'll take Golovkin Saunders over it.
I would like
Billy
to
Joe
see
Saunders can't fight Golovkin. I mean, look, after he fights Murray, provided he beats him, he has 3 months to fulfill his mandatory against Andre. Now, if Andre doesn't push it and they pay him some step-aside money, he could potentially fight Golovkin. But, you know, that could throw a monkey wrench in the whole thing because he's going to have to fight. If Andre fills in the paperwork and pushes for that Mando, they're going to have 3 months to make that fight after Murray.
Andre's going to look like a fool fighting Saunders.
When's the mandatory due? Because Lemieux was his mandatory, and they literally just fought Lemieux side.
Every 9 months, so it's going to be 3 months after that fight, roughly.
And by the way, I just looked.
They could get an exception. They could get a permit. Yeah, if they want to unify with Golovkin. If they want to fight Golovkin, the WBO.
They're going to have to pay. They're going to have to pay Andre, you know, step aside money, and Golovkin Saunders not being that big of a fight. I don't know.
Has Andrade actually been? I mean, they might put him in a final eliminator. You never know. I mean, he's not been mandated, is he?
Right. By the way,
he was supposed to fight Derevyanchenko for that.
Andrade should not. No, I mean Andrade shouldn't become a manager off the back of his last fight. I'm sorry. He should fight someone.
Well, listen.
I think it's been called. I'm not sure.
I'm looking
what's wrong with Andrade, man. He gets into calling out all this guy, that guy, and then when the fight comes around, he either pulls out, comes over an injury.
Lara wanted to fight him. Andrade moves up, then Andrade's like talking about fighting Lara and all that. But Andrade never wanted to fight Lara, man.
I think he could beat Lara though.
So do I, but I don't think he wanted to fight.
To me, he's not a threat at 160 at all. Based off his last 2 performances, I don't even think he's a threat, to be honest. I think Canelo beats him, Golovkin beats him. I mean, Saunders beats him.
Do you think Jamal Charlo beats him?
Probably.
Oh, Andrade?
Yeah.
Nah, I don't know why. I don't think so.
He's just looked horrible in his last couple of fights. I mean,
I haven't seen his last fight,
step
though,
up.
Yeah, I haven't seen his last fight though, so I can't.
Like the kid has no balance. He doesn't set up his shots. He just, I don't know. To me, it looks like he's actually regressed, and that's probably a function of him not fighting very often.
Yeah, when he won the title, when he faced Varnes, he was a different fighter, man. I mean, that was a close fight as well. Varnes,
it was his best performance for sure, but after that, like he hasn't really impressed at all.
If it's the Andrade that fought Varnes, he would beat Charlo.
Or get knocked out in the first round.
Maybe. I mean, no, he's hard to hit, man. I have no idea.
maybe the motivation, maybe Andrade's motivation isn't as what it was. Maybe all the inactivity and all the things that's going on. But yeah, no,
I just don't think he's that good. I just don't.
No, I don't either. I don't either.
He has to prove himself. He has to fight somebody.
I don't think he's going to improve at all now, to be honest.
Not improve, prove.
Oh, right, yeah.
He was supposed to fight Derevianchenko. I don't know what happened there. They couldn't come to an agreement. But
I think he would have lost that fight as well.
yeah.
Yeah, BDA will be right back. So.
Yeah, but Golovkin-Vanes, like, it's not anything to get excited about. But what the hell is he supposed to do?
Yeah, man.
You know, while
I don't blame Golovkin for that. You know, Golovkin's got a fight. I mean, obviously, you know, it probably will be a trash fight, but I don't blame him for fighting. I mean, at the end of the day, Canelo's the one that is the reason this is happening in the first place. So
that if Vanya's is as good as he was back in the day, then that fight might go 12 rounds. It might, because he's going to be difficult. His in and out game is like it's going to be hard.
They both had very tough fights against Kasim Uma. They both did. I thought Uma beat Vanes way back in the day, but
I haven't seen that fight.
Yeah, officially Vanes got the nod.
Golovkin should stop
Vanes got the nod.
I think Golovkin should stop Vanes. I think I think it'd be bad if Golovkin didn't stop Vanes.
Well, then nobody stopped Vanes, right? He's never been stopped before.
No.
And he's
you might get stopped by Triple G if he's like rusty and shit.
It depends on Golovkin, doesn't it? I mean, like, depends how much Golovkin's slowing down, how fast he's slowing down.
Golovkin has that kind of reputation, though, right? Like there's a few, I forgot the fighter's name. I think he was a tall Asian guy. He fought from Shida. He fought from 154 to heavyweight, I believe.
Yeah,
and he got like 10 losses, and he's only been knocked out one time.
He's a guy that beat. He's a guy that beat James Kirkland.
Yeah, he knocked him out in the first round.
Yeah, that was terrible, man. Kirkland, he got bashed around that ring, man. Kirkland was looking like a beast. He goes in with Shida, who had like what, 10 knockouts or something, and he made Kirkland made him look like fucking Mike Tyson in that ring.
Dude, he just sparked. He just hit him with that short. He's a lefty, right? Short left.
Yeah.
Boom! It was over.
James Kirkland, man. James Kirkland, for me, he's apparently fought around more thinny, but he's still not fought anybody like since he was supposed to fight at the end of last year. James Kirkland, I wouldn't mind seeing James Kirkland fight Antonio Margarito, man. Make that fight happen.
You know what I would like to see? I would like to see Hurd fight Triple G. That would be very, very entertaining.
Yeah, it's not
very, very entertaining, man. That'd be one of the most entertaining fights I probably ever witnessed.
What fight? Is there any fights tonight? There isn't any. There's no boxing all this weekend.
There's zero boxing.
There's like fights in foreign countries that from like some undefeated people, but not in America or nothing.
What's the next? What fights are there next weekend? On the top of my head,
Broner against Jesse Vargas.
Yeah, that's a good fight. I think Vargas wins it.
Yeah, Frampton and Donaire.
Oh yeah. Oh, you got Amir Khan's come back as well.
Oh yeah.
Took him like 2 years, right, to come back from that knockout.
That's when you know the fight's so bad, when people don't even remember that it's Khan's comeback.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets knocked out.
Would you bet on it? Because I'm thinking of putting something.
I'd advise somebody to put money on that. Phil Greco, man, he put hands on Spence. He put hands on Spence. He can definitely tag Khan.
Did he take that fight in the last minute? At the last minute?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Week or something.
Phil Greco will bring it.
What about Broner and Jesse Vargas? I
think Vargas wins that, man.
Yeah, he might get robbed. Bronner's he's the slight favorite, which boggles the mind. But...
Whoa!
I mean, I don't want to see Broner, man. Like, it's at a catch weight, isn't it, at 144 or something like that. So
that's
I don't know, man. Maybe
Bronner's getting destroyed by Vargas, man.
I hope so.
Maybe if it was at 147, I'd be pretty confident Vargas, but it depends on the weight. How Vargas makes 144.
Vargas
But
is
Granados took like arguably 8 rounds off Broner, and they still fucking
Granados
robbed
won
his
that
ass.
fight. How Granados winning that fight?
He won that fight clearly. Like Bronner, he landed a big punch here and there, but it didn't have much of an effect. And Granados just outworked him. That's what I
Granados,
saw.
man. Granados is so underrated, man.
He's very good.
Now here's my
there's
question,
an undefeated
Fernando.
super fly fighting today in Virginia, and he's 15-0.
What's the name?
His name's Alexandru Marin. He's like Romanian, but he lives in Maryland. He's fighting in Virginia. It's
Never
not
heard of it.
televised or nothing, but
I don't usually hear about these guys until they fought someone legit. Like, I don't really pay attention to prospects until they fought someone who can actually test them.
Yeah, no one gives a fuck.
he's fighting the guy who's like.
All right, well there you go. Stu getting straight.
Stu been talking for about an hour. He comes
tell
out
us
and
about
Yeah, it's just boxing. I'm just sharing who's fighting.
Stu went off to eat the mask.
Is it?
Stu
Right,
checking on
I'll
that.
take that in, yeah.
Well, look, I want to go back a little bit to the featherweight division, rather, because I was reading the comments in the video we did, and people were saying, "Oh, Gary Russell Jr. is the best featherweight in the world." Now, of course, I disagree with that. I think if you look at resumes, Santa Cruz is the best. He has the best resume, the best wins at featherweight. But my question is, who gives him the tougher fight from all the top featherweights? Because featherweight stack division. I don't think he has an easy time with anybody, but my question to you guys, and I'm going to put the rankings up, who do you think gives Santa Cruz the best or more competitive fight? Is it still Carl Frampton? Is it Joseph Diaz Jr., Gary Russell Jr.? You guys tell me.
Probably the winner of that fight.
Yeah.
Who gives?
I think he
Leo
beats
Santa
Gary
Cruz-
Russell Jr., by the way. I think he beats him.
I think he beats Gary Russell. The toughest fight, probably, I would say Valdez.
I said earlier on, it'd be better for boxing if Diaz beats Russell, because Diaz will actually fight often and defend the title often. We won't see Russell again until next year.
Yeah, that's the thing about.
There's no point talking about Russell, man. There's no point talking about Russell against Cruz, because Gary Russell Jr. is never going to fight anybody legit again.
Exactly, that's a good point.
Fighting these mandatories, picking up money, and he'll be out of the sport.
That's a good point. He fights once a year, Russell Jr., like we said. And even Santa Cruz, who's on the PBC Gold plan or Platinum plan, he still doesn't fight that much. I mean, why is he taking on Abner Maris again? I mean, I know Abner Maris had a good fight against Cuellar.
That rematch was even happening until somebody mentioned it on Twitter the other day, and I thought, fuck, I didn't even realise that rematch was happening. There's no need for a rematch. I mean, the only reason that happened is because Maris beat Cuellar for the regular title.
Yeah, I saw it on Telemundo. They put it on Telemundo. I was like, what? They're fighting again?
It's just a cash grab.
Yeah. But enough with the cash grabs, man. I mean, let's start seeing. I mean, look, I know Santa Cruz fought Frampton twice, okay, in a row. That's good, but come on, let's. I don't want to see it. It's been there, done that with. Unless, of course, I would have said the same thing after Santa Cruz lost to Frampton the first time. I would have said, okay, I did say that. I said, what can Santa Cruz change? I don't think he can outbox Frampton, and whoops, he outboxed Frampton. So maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong again. Maybe Maris will pull something out of the bag.
Nah. Leo Santa Cruz is underrated as fuck, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was a close fight, but I know you guys were talking about it earlier, but I had him beating Frampton 7-5. Close fight. I'm not going to argue it, but I thought he won.
The first one was a close fight. That was a close fight.
Yeah. He's underrated, man. He's a really good fighter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't know
he
could
would have
box.
destroyed Rigondeaux. All that shit talking from Rigondeaux fanboys, I think he would have destroyed him.
Really?
Of course.
Yeah, because Amagasa gave him shit.
Fight. Exactly.
Uh-huh.
And Amagasa had no defense. Leo has very good defense, man. After he gets done punching, he puts his hands up. No, he was just taking punches like a dummy. And how many did he take before he got chopped down? And he was drained. The guy had never fought at super bantamweight. Never.
Okay, let's stick to that. Let's stick to Rigon now. Is he gonna fight again? Do you think?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, I think he will.
I think he then. I mean, he got offered.
He needs money.
His team had got contacted about entering this bantamweight World Boxing Super Series. I think if he's getting offered that, he should enter it. Because I wouldn't mind seeing Rigondeaux fight.
I think he's juicing hard, and he's gonna come back at featherweight probably.
I think Andre Ward put Rigo's name up. That's why he became kind of famous.
I mean, I don't want to see Rigondeaux at featherweight, man. He's going down to bantamweight, man. He can make that weight.
Maybe
I don't know though. People say that, but I don't know because he's always come in at around 130, even when he was fighting a super bantamweight. When you look at his weights, after a while, it wasn't any lower than 128, 129.
I mean, bantamweight's 118, isn't it?
I know people always said it, but the man fought at super bantamweight his entire career, amateur and pro. Like he's the only boxer that's never grown. You know what I mean? I don't think he can make bantamweight comfortably. I don't think he can.
I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Inoue or Tete, man. That's the fights I wouldn't mind seeing him fight. I mean, super bantamweight dead division.
We got
shit,
somebody.
I gotta go, man.
No, that was Boxy style. He's was that the
some undefeated super featherweight got a TKO here in Britain. It's Sam Bowen, some prospect.
What do you keep bringing up prospects for, Michael? Like Stu said, fuck prospect. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Let's say this right. That prospect you just brought up, he's British, right?
Yeah, his name's Sam Bowen.
Yeah, me and Stu have never heard of him, so that should tell you everything.
Yeah. Exactly. Who the fuck's that bug?
Oh man, jeez Louise. Hey,
Stu, he's probably fighting at what's the arena in he's probably fighting at some fucking hall in fucking Wigan or something like that.
Yeah, fucking the bingo hall, isn't it? Wigan.
Yeah. Some place called Leicestershire or something like that.
Exactly, says it all done it for like a 200 fucking
Leicestershire.
Leicestershire.
Yeah.
Is that going on right now? I don't even see it in the schedule.
It's already over. It says that he won by TKO.
It won't be in the schedule. It won't be in the schedule because it's not relevant. It'll be in the BoxRec schedule.
I see.
Yeah, it's a BBFC British super featherweight title.
What's the main event, or was that the main event?
That was it. Yeah, Sam Bowen versus Maxie Hughes.
Was there a title on the line?
I guess BBFC, triple B of C.
All right.
Oh yeah, some English. No one cares, man. Like Stu said, who cares about that, man?
Yeah, let's move on from that.
Frampton and who?
No, that's next week.
Oh, that's next week.
There's no boxing at all tonight, man.
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. When you talk about a fight that's happening, then you get classed as being like rambling on about the same old shit. So what do we talk about to keep these guys happy? You know.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Every time I mention a fight, I'm obviously rambling on about something. Get Slade Tumbler out of here. This guy always trolling me in the chat. I don't know who he is.
Come on.
Yeah, what the fuck? People are telling me to kick him out, but then BDA has his policy.
Get that fucking clown out of here.
He keeps saying that if Vitaly comes back permanently, he's gonna get destroyed by AJ. He says like British boxers are way better than all Eastern European bums.
Hey, the thing is, he's probably not even a proper Brit. He's probably fresh off the boat, been here a couple of years. He's got his passport.
Here's my thing. Here's my thing, man. Here's my thing. Hold on. Here's my thing. Hold on. Here's my thing. When somebody says all Europeans are stiff and boring, you know they're trolling. So why do you even read their comments? I don't get it. Like you know they're not being serious. You know you don't have a responsibility
well, he's spamming the whole chat, man.
Yeah, but let's be real. Hey, BDA, man, BDA. Let's be real, mate. These guys, mate. These guys are just making it uncomfortable for us to be talking about things.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I'm not even paying attention to what they're saying. It wasn't until Butcher just pointed out that I started reading what the hell is going on in there. But I just
never read the chat. Like when I've been on these shows, I've never ever read the chat. And if someone brings something up that's actually funny or something like that, like, no, I'm looking for it now.
Listen, the thing is with me, right? The thing is with me, you know. I like to get on with everyone, but when someone says something nasty about me, I never forget.
Really?
I never forget, and I'll always fucking remember. So when someone tries to come back to me and talk to me all happy-go-lucky and hello, Stooge, what do you think about this? I go and tell them to fuck.
Oh man, see, this is the type of stuff.
He never forget.
Yeah, he's an elephant. He never forgets.
I never forget. So, all you guys that have said bad things about me, don't be coming in my inbox or coming on. Oh, hello, Stu. Oh, I think you're great. I'm like, fuck off.
Okay, if we let's say we leave it to the people again, and if they like to decide if they want these people out of the chat. But can we agree that X has to stay in the chat because we can't kick him out? He keeps it too real.
X is a degenerate. We welcome
I agree.
Degenerates because the chat is full of degenerates.
I want an apology, man. An apology was good.
Slade Tumbler has passed that grade. He has to go.
All I see every show is X in the chat absolutely rinsing recognised. Everything he puts in, say recognise.
Yeah, but X hates me. X is always calling me out. But you know, I love it.
But he's also
calling me out. Stu, do you remember when he came on the show and he's like, I want to box Stuart Little?
All right, but hold on. Let's recognize.
Like I said, hey, listen. If I box X, then it's going to be the same as the David Price fight. There's going to be an ambulance waiting outside. Oxygen masks are going to come out. You know?
All right. First of all, Michael Stott is saying that we have to pick and choose who talks because there's just too many people talking over each other. So let's ask recognize.
Listen, I don't give a shit.
Okay, but hold on.
I don't give a flying fuck what he does, right?
Stu.
This guy. No, let me speak. This guy has got so much to say in the comment section, but when we're on air, it's fucking Minnie Mouse.
I'm right here on air, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. All I'm suggesting is that you don't interrupt people when everybody else is talking and let other people talk, bro.
This is not.
Stu is ex-Tumblr, bro.
This is not the Michael Stott show. If you don't like it,
and it's not the Stu show either, bro.
All right, but hold on. I gotta hold on. I have to interject here. I have to interject. I need a sound effect here. I need a fan.
I'm not giving you shit. I'm just suggesting stuff so we can all get it from the car.
All right, hold on.
Tame the cut.
I've never learned anything about
Stu, you're getting a little too rambunctious, man. You're letting the people get to you. Listen, hold on. Stu, you're getting a little too...
Let's arrange a meeting.
It has nothing to do with that, Stu. I'm not
Michael, would you let me...
Michael,
would you... Hold on a second. Would you guys let me speak here for a minute? I think... hold on. Boxing style. I said I'm going to talk and you start talking over me. Listen. We already determined. Hold on, Stu, please. Okay, I'll let you speak when I'm done, okay? You'll be the next one, okay? We already established, and I said this at the beginning of the show, Stu has a bad connection. He's on delay. He can only hear us 2 seconds after we start talking. That's why sometimes he starts talking over people because he hasn't heard yet that somebody started talking. All right, go ahead, Stu. And try not to make it too long, please.
Listen, I've not spoken for 25 minutes. I've kept it quiet. I was trying to get involved with the conversation, but people were moaning at me, so I've kept it quiet, right? Michael Stott, since the day, has been in the comment section like a little fucking rat. You know, like a rolling rat coming from the sewers, fucking taking little digs at me, yeah? Yeah, I've sat in here for 15 hours on the fucking hangout. Not once has that guy said anything to me on air. Well, say it fucking now, you piece of shit.
Oh.
I'll beat your fucking ass, pussy. What? What the fuck are you gonna do, Stu? I'll come to fucking England beat your ass. What the fuck are you talking about on air, man? We're just doing a boxing show. And you're talking all this shit like I'm a pussy or something in the fucking chat. I'm just talking about the show.
Hey, I will pay for your fucking ticket and I'll meet you at the airport, you fucking piece of shit.
Pay for my fucking ticket, you British piece of shit.
Let's calm down.
Yeah. No, seriously, I don't get any of the hate. Like, I'm being serious, I don't get any word.
No, listen, this guy, right? This fucking guy.
This fucking guy.
See what a spastic we're dealing with here.
Oh, that's how you sound, bro. That's how you talk.
You're a piece of shit. You're a coward. That's what you are. And I tell you what, I'll pay for your fucking flight to the airport.
Bro, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up.
All right, but hold on a second.
Hold on.
Would it be fair to say, Michael, would it be fair to say that you were in the chat room winding Stu up a little bit? Can we say that?
I'm not saying anything. I'm just suggesting that we all talk at different times and let you run the show.
No, but before that,
it's a roundup trip. So
No, but I will say one thing, right? It was on not the last show, the one before, where, yeah, Mike, you did say something that said like I had a dig at Stu about him like interrupting him. Well, his fucking internet's so fucking shit, man.
Okay, the beginning of the show, when he did my introduction, to the show, when you started asking questions, you didn't even let me talk. This guy just starts talking. He's been doing it the whole show. I've been quiet, and all I'm suggesting peacefully in the chat that BDA moderated a little better so Stu's not interrupting what other people want to say. I understand you know a lot about boxing, but it's a group chat. Like other people want to chat.
What, so you're telling me I hug this show? I barely speak. When I speak for about 30 seconds and I'm finished.
You haven't spoken for about an hour.
Go back to all the shows.
May I suggest something?
Go back to all the shows.
You're
the only one that can.
Go ahead.
You're the only one.
Can you guys have a smoke break?
Can you guys have a what?
Bro, I didn't hear that.
Get a smoke break, bro.
No, I'm fine, dude. It's not me.
Things like Stu ain't spoke for like 40 minutes. He comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, and by the way, Michael. Well, hold on. Stu, hold on. Let me address something here again. I have to address something here. All right.
You fucking back.
Keep it fucking real too, homie. What?
All right.
Fuck is all.
All right, hold on, Michael. Did you understand what I said earlier? That he's on delay. He can't hear what we say until 2 seconds after we said it.
They dropped off, man.
Oh man, just when it started getting good, everybody drops out. Okay, hold on. I gotta invite. I have to invite.
That's why I'm suggesting, because of his delay, that you pick people to talk so that he doesn't get confused with whose turn it is to.
You're right. That's a good point. I should have been taking a. Today I wasn't moderating all that well. I was just asking random questions and letting everybody jump over each other. You're right about that. All right, so listen.
Hey, listen. How many times I've been on this show and I've brought interesting conversations and I've brought debates.
Oh yeah.
And it's kept the show rolling, right?
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, right? So when I try to get involved, I've got these fucking maggots like him. Give me a hard time.
Come on, listen.
You have no reason to call me a maggot. There's no reason for that, sir.
Listen, we already established that he couldn't hear you because of the delay, right? And we already established that you, Michael, weren't trying to wind him up. You were just trying to give some constructive criticism so that the show flowed better.
BDA, since I've been on this show, this guy has been making comments about me constantly. I've let it roll. I've let it go. Yeah. Hours and hours I've been on this hangout. Not once did he send anything to me on air, right? So now we're having it out. Listen, I ain't got no beef with Michael. At the end of the day, I'm sure he's a great guy, but at the end of the day, he's trolling me and he's going to be a man about it and have it out with me on air in front of my face instead of doing it in the chat comment section.
Can I say something? If you have any something to say, tell us in the hangouts privately. Don't go on the chat and type shit, because then it looks like you're talking shit about somebody else, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
That was what you were doing.
I've sat and spoke to Michael in this hangout, right? I've sat and spoke to Michael, and I class all you guys, every one of you guys on here, I class as my friend. I don't know you, I've never met you. I class you as my friends. I've got to know you all, and you're all great guys, including Michael. But the thing is, when you're sitting there having a conversation with a guy, thinking you're all right with him, and then every time you do a show, you look in the comment section, he's having digs at you. It's pussy old shit, man. I'm not into that. You say it to my face.
I don't talk shit about you at all, man.
Stu, be like Jesus. Turn the other cheek.
What bothers me is you start going off on me, and I never even initiated any kind of aggression towards you or any kind of anything. All I was saying is that I understand the connection issue, and I'm just saying that can BDA kind of pick who can talk, because I understand sometimes you just start talking.
You're making a mountain out of a molehill, bro. I've listened to every show, and you've spoke as much as I have. I've not hogged this show. Right, I was talking about conversations earlier. There was like 4 of us on the hangout. What do you want me to do? Just sit here in fucking silence? And this is a hangout that goes on for 3 hours.
I'm not asking you to do anything, Stu. It wasn't even towards you. It was just between BDA. And if BDA doesn't want to do it, it's his show. I'm just talking to him.
I'll say something, right? Because obviously it started obviously when Mike put in the comments the other day saying that Stu does not get interrupted, but he interrupts other people. But that's like that was a lot of BS to be fair, because like I've never heard Stu interrupt someone unless
he interrupted my intro during the beginning of the show. BDA asked me a specific question, and then this guy started answering the question as if it was for him.
Yeah, but a lot of the time when
I didn't even hear your fucking garbage intro.
When Stu's talking, a lot of the time,
oh, come on, man.
I'll say one thing. When Stu's talking, like his internet cuts off halfway through, so when we start talking, we think he's finished when he hasn't. So when he talks back, we let him talk again because that's just the way it is. But no.
BD asked me a specific question. He asked me what I thought of the Russell Jr. Diaz. Okay, he asked me that specifically. I said, okay, I'll do mine after Frank goes. After Frank went, it was my turn to go, and then Stu just starts talking and talking and talking for almost like 15 minutes.
All right, hold on.
Let's be honest.
Hey, listen. 15 minutes, right? This is why I know. No, Cameron, let me have. This is why I know.
If you want me to time it, I'll start timing it, man.
Nah, man.
Get your fucking stopwatch out. Get your stopwatch out, and then come back to me. Put it on a video and prove that I chat for 15 minutes non-stop. You're talking about your fucking ass.
I will.
We've all been guilty of interrupting each other on this show, man. I don't
exactly.
Getting interrupted. And we'll say another thing. I think every single show, Stu sits there talking, but then for about an hour and a half, or that's over exaggerating, he disappears. So to say it's the Stu show, I think it's a bit over exaggerating, to be honest.
Thank you, Cameron. Thank you. The thing is, right, what it is with Michael, he's had a problem with me since day one, and he's bitter, and he don't like it that I have an opinion, right? But we'll
I have no problem with your opinion at all, man, at all.
Well,
yeah, okay. So, is it fair to say that this has all been a giant misunderstanding?
No,
of course. That's what I've been trying to say the whole time, and the guy's like calling me all these names and shit.
Yeah, damn right, and I stick by every word I said. At the end of the day, right?
Because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude.
Michael,
you're attacking somebody that has nothing to do with it.
All right,
guys, it's the internet. Let it go, man. I mean,
no. Let's not let it go. Let's not let it go.
Precise. I'm letting it go. This guy's calling me all these fucking names.
Well, just let it go then. Let it go, bro.
Okay, just let him just fucking talk shit about me all fucking day in the conversation.
Come on, man. Before I got on here, people were talking shit about me, man.
Exactly.
It is what it is, bro.
The difference is, bro, I'm saying it to your face on air, and you do it in the comments.
You're not in front of my face, dude. That's the hard honest truth. No, you're not in front of my face.
Obviously, we're not.
That's what he is.
Obviously, we're not going to see each other face to face, right? Because we live across the pond. But at the end of the day, you do it in the comment section. Yeah, when I've been on air with you, nothing's been said.
What did I call you in the comment section?
Oh, fucking hell, man. Where do I start? Then the day, right,
oh, where do you start? Like, what did I say? What insulting word did I say about you?
Hey, listen, you can be rude to someone without saying swear words. You know,
rude? What way? I think you got a chip on your shoulder. I think you think that I have something against you, and you're tripping the fuck out.
I have got a chip on my shoulder. I agree.
It's called proper insulting.
You think everybody's against you, man?
No, I think
boring. Boring, guys. This is boring.
Yeah, let's move on.
Besides, I sat there quiet when you were fucking rambling on with Hamid for about an hour and a half, talking absolute bollocks.
We were talking boxing. We weren't talking about each other. We were talking boxing. As fucking boring as it was still boxing.
That was even worse, man. Hamid retired from BDA for good. That's how bad that was.
That's because a motherfucker doesn't understand simple logic or refuse to. I don't know what it is.
All right, first of all, I'm not gonna. There's one thing I will like. If people want to fight between each other here, that's fine. I'll let it go. I'll let it go on for as long as it has to. But I won't let people. I won't let people insult my Hamed. My Hamed. It's just not gonna happen. All right.
No, but listen. Hey, listen, bro. Hey, please. I want to get on with Michael. We're on the show together, and I want to get on with the guy.
All right.
Who is that? Is that recognized? Who is?
It's hard for me to get on with someone.
X wants to say something.
Bashes me in the chat.
All right, let's let X wants to say something. I think. Is that what you?
You don't want to say shit.
No. All right, but listen. Look, okay, we've let this go on long enough. I think at this point, Michael, there was a misunderstanding. Stu, you thought he was, I don't know exactly what you read that he was saying, but I think we can all agree Stu was silent for over 30 minutes and before he started speaking again, he's not intending on interrupting. He's got a bad connection. So let's just, like Precise said, let's just let it go. And by the way, if you want to start a boxing YouTube channel or something, You have to learn how to take a roll with the punches, because there are going to be people out there that don't like you, and they're going to start throwing shit your way just because they don't like you or they don't like what you have to say.
I'm
Whatever.
looking forward to that, man. I'm getting my channel started up next this coming week. I'm sure I'll get a few of that.
Exactly.
It's not about that, though, bro. It's not about that. I can handle the punishment. It's just when I'm in a hangout with a guy for like 20 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get on with the guy, yet he's fucking digging me out in this comment section. So at the end of the day, say it on air, and we can get this out of the way, and we can forget about it.
All right. Well, there you go.
I enjoy this podcast, man. Like, a lot of my evenings are taken up by this podcast. And it don't feel like I enjoy coming on this podcast. You know what I mean? It's a shame to see like little fallouts, to be fair.
Actually, it's pretty good for the ratings, to be honest with you. But I mean, yeah, at this point,
man, but it's a shame, you know what I mean?
Why can't we be friends?
Exactly.
When all of us put our minds together, we do break down boxing really well. So.
It really is amazing that this type of, because really we're not great thinkers or anything, so it really is amazing that when we do put what little minds we have, we actually can create a good show. That's really amazing. I'll put it that way. All right. By the way, here we have
peace pipe.
We have the piss pipe. I mean the peace pipe, not the piss pipe, on the screen. That means it's official. The olive branch has been extended from both sides. The little fight is over, and we can all move on. And by the way, we got.
BDA, you say Hamid. I spoke to Hamid last night. He's done, man. He's done with BDA after. He's done with Precise, man. He's done.
Oh man, that's a shame because I like Hamed. He was one of the first panelists we had on, and Bucho told me about that not too long ago. Actually, yesterday was it? Because I didn't see the messages. And he says, "Hey, Hamed is he's no longer doing the show," and I can't imagine why.
Well, he didn't say it was because of Precise, but anyways, I don't want to get into it though.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, listen, we got Apology Man on the line. Apology, are you there?
Hello.
Yes, Apology.
I think I fixed my connection.
Okay.
Godfather's back.
Do me a favor. Count from 1 to 10, please. That way we'll see how stable the connection is.
All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10.
All right.
It's a bit wobbly. You missed out 7 because it was a bit wobbly.
A little bit wobbly. Like I would have to count you out. No, actually, I'll let you continue. But
he's knocked out, man.
No, he's not knocked out. He's not knocked out yet. But you're good to go. You're good to go, man. You're good to go. All right. So, Apology Man, thank you for being on. Let me ask you something, because we were talking last, episode. It devolved a little bit into ass eating, and you said you don't respect Cameron. Now, I understand that was just a bit of a joke, right? Like you didn't really lose respect for Cameron after that. I think he did then.
Silence says it all.
Silence says it all, exactly.
Apology. Apology's going to do a Michael Stott and comment in the fucking show afterwards.
Just let it go. Just let it go. Cameron's burning in hell. That's fine. We understand. But
exactly.
We
yeah.
Talk to him.
Yeah. We all.
Let me say something, because I'm fucking tired of being shot at and people taking shots at me. Look, Hamed, the boy deserved it. Okay, he got what he deserved. If he could dish it out and he can't handle it, that's his bitch. That's not my bitch. I'm not going to sit here and cry about it. I'm not going to sit here and feel guilty because he can't fucking... Because he has no intellectual honesty, basically. So he could go fuck himself.
I don't know why people take this personal. I mean, we're just talking boxing. At the end of the day, like, who cares? It's like...
I'm still here. I mean, the guy called me a liar. I mean, he said all kinds of shit about me. He ridiculed... Hold on. He ridiculed the way I score fights, right? Very disrespectful. Whatever. I let it go, man. I'm still here. I ain't crying about it. So he can dish it out. He can't handle it, basically.
I will say one thing, though. Yeah, Precise is the reason why he's not actually on the show, man. Like,
No. I'm not the reason why he's not on the show. I mean, look. No. Every man needs to take responsibility for himself, okay? Everybody else is on this show. They bring a certain kind of energy. Somehow all these people on here can handle me. I can handle them. Hamed is the one who can't handle it, okay? Let's keep it real, all right? Let's keep it real. No, don't point fingers at somebody else. You could dish it out, but you can't handle it. That's the problem. He could say whatever the fuck he wants to say about me. But when I reply, then he gets all into his feelings and he's not going to come on the show because of me. No.
Ahmed needs to change his tampons.
Oh, exactly. Now wait a minute. I'm not going to let my Hamed
I'm actually alright with Hamed. I actually know the guy outside of all this stuff.
Oh,
he's
really?
actually alright, man. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. But again, that's between him and Precise. Precise can say what he wants about Hamed, and Hamed can say what he wants about Precise. That's the way it works here.
Look, we all have opinions on the sport, okay? If you don't like my opinion, I'm not gonna get butthurt about it. I respect your opinion, but don't ridicule me because I scored a fight differently. You know what I mean? That's disrespectful. So if you're gonna cross that line, don't expect me to just sit there and let you walk all over me. If you're gonna cross a certain line, you're gonna get back exactly what you deserve. And if you can't handle what you dish out, that makes you a pussy, period. Somehow I'm okay with everybody else on here. I mean, you come to me with something, I'm gonna respond in the same exact way. And whatever I say to you, I'm not gonna get butthurt because you're saying it back to me. You know what I mean? Come on, man.
Yeah, but Precise. Wait up. Was he ridiculing you? I don't think he was ridiculing you. He was just arguing.
I think he called you a
No,
racist,
he
didn't he?
was. Man, it was the same kind of problem that Stu just had with Michael, and I'm not trying to go that route, but he was in the chat room, you know. Oh, Precise is on. Time to go. Oh, Precise doesn't know how to score a fight. Anybody who thinks Pacquiao beat Mayweather is stupid, and Precise got all these extreme opinions. Don't attack me. Attack my opinion. Why you making it personal? The dude made it personal, and then when I made it personal, right back at him, he couldn't fucking handle it. And that's the truth of it, okay? You could disagree with me all you want. I respect your opinion. Just don't make it fucking personal.
That's a good point. But hold on. That's a good point. Hold on. That's a good point because Hamed sometimes he would be on the chat and he would be bad-mouthing. He would be bad-mouthing Precise. Now listen, we've all had disagreements with Precise. We've all had disagreements with each other, right? And at the end of the day, we say, okay, I agree or we disagree. We move on. But going into the chat room, I thought Hamed was trolling just a tiny little bit there. I do think he was trying to get under Precise's skin. And if he wants to leave, Hamed, listen, you can come back anytime you want. You're always welcome. That's what Bucho told him as well during our private conversations. And I hope he do. And by the way, again, I want to emphasize, he never said he's leaving. But hold on. He never said. Stop pulling a Michael Stott here, right? Stop pulling a Stu. Stop interrupting me. Oh, by the way, I'm in the building. We have X on the line. We have X on the line.
I'm a little. Listen, man. Listen. First of all, I don't know what Stu's problem is, but I'll go over there and I'll fight you one-on-one. I want to get that off my chest.
All right.
Yeah, business.
All right. By the way,
X, do you want these hands?
Do you want some of Apology's hands? I don't know if that was a sexual remark. I think it was meant.
Book it.
All right, X.
I'll take Apology man down.
All right, but X, I've never.
X, you don't want to come over here, man. Stu would fuck you up 100%, man.
He's got dogs, man.
He's got his scarf. He's got his scarf. You don't want to mess with him.
He'll fucking fuck you up with scarf, man. You got no fucking know.
I'm slipping slickery.
He'll make you his
Bring it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
He's like butter.
Sick like father.
All right, now hold on. I got a couple of questions for X because this is the first time I've spoken to him directly. So X, thanks for being on the show. I understand.
No problem, BDA. I just want to say, man, thank you for having me on, man. I want to just say this. I appreciate it. I told you about them hoes in Atlanta, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of you. Because of you. The host from Atlanta came up here. They said, yo, I saw you on that BDA. You know what I'm saying? Oh, one more thing. Fuck Recognize. Fuck Recognize the Matrix. I want to say, fuck that nigga.
X, can I ask you a question? Hey, hold on, can I ask X a question?
Yeah.
Did you eat the ass?
Hell no, I don't do that shit. I ain't recognize. I ain't recognize the ass.
X is my new best friend. Thank you, X. He's my new best friend now.
Well, thank you. Yeah, because I'm a real brother.
You ain't a fucking real man.
He's like, fuck that asterisk.
X, you ain't a fucking real. X, you ain't a fucking real. You ain't a fucking real man until you've eaten some ass, man. I got no respect for you.
Well, I don't respect you, Cameron. I mean, you down with Recognize the Coon. So I don't respect you.
Oh man. All right, let me ask
Fuck you.
Let me ask a couple of questions.
How's my prediction? Is my voice all good?
One thing.
Your connection's awful.
Just wanted to let you guys know that.
All right, now hold on a second. We gotta get a couple of things straight here. Are you currently in Atlanta, X? Is that where you're from?
No, I'm in Jamaica, Queens right now. I'm in Jamaica. You know, that's why I grew up at. That's where I'm from all day, every day.
You're making me crazy.
Listen, man. I don't know who you. BDA, man. Listen, you're a good man. I like you, okay? But there's a couple of people you need to kick off that fucking show, and one of them is Recognize the Matrix. Fuck him. And Stu, you want to fight me? Let's go. Invite me to cousin. I'll go over there and I'll fight you.
Oh man. All right.
Sorry
all right.
about that, BDA.
Now,
I get a little
sign the
excited.
contract.
X, man. I'm up for it, bro. Let's talk figures, bro.
Who's in the
figures?
Who's in the fucking F1?
hold on. One at a time. One at a time.
X idea, bro. So let's talk 70-30, yeah?
70-30, whatever you want. Yeah, 70-30 me, because I'm the one going over the edge to you. I'm going to the UK. I'm taking all the risks. Yeah, you get 30%, I get 70%, and then we see what happens.
X, you prepared to fight Dylan White?
Man, Dylan White is a slave. I ain't worried about no slave. Come on, man. I'll knock a slave out.
All right, now X, people want to know. You don't have to disclose your location, obviously. We don't want to know exactly what you are. But are you currently in your headquarters? Is that where you are right now?
I'm in, exactly. You see, BDA, that's what I like about you, man. I actually like you.
Oh, good.
I'm in my headquarters. I'm in my comfort zone. You come to Jamaica, Queens, and you're going to see, oh, excuse me, I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, if you do come over here, you're going to see what happens. That's what I'm saying. You come over here, you come over here looking for X, you see what happens.
Now, okay, here's the question.
He's coming. Nobody in the UK, man. You'd be a nobody in the UK.
People want to know, X. People want to know. There's been a lot of things.
Coming.
All right, hold on a second, please. There's been a lot of things said about you, X. A lot of things that we have to clear up, because some of it might be rumors, some of it might be conjecture that's been created throughout the years. People talk about you. So let's set the record straight tonight. Can we do that?
Let's do this. Let's go.
Okay. People say you fancy yourself a businessman, correct?
I'm a businessman. That's right.
All right. Now, some people say that part of that business is illegitimate. In other words, you're into you run a criminal enterprise. How do you respond to that?
Well, I won't talk about that on the air, but yeah, something like that happened. But go ahead.
Syndicate.
But that's in the past, right?
The past is the past. Look, if you're asking me if I'm legitimate right now, I'm gonna say yeah. I'm legitimate right now, but do I got connections? Of course I do.
A legit degenerate.
Now wait a minute. I'm not gonna lynch you insult.
I want to fight this guy. Who said that about me?
That was Cameron, X. That was Cameron.
Cameron, come on.
Let's go, man. I'm young as fuck, man. You're getting
I'll go over there. Let's go, man. I'll go over there. Somebody pay for a ticket for me. I'll go over there.
Listen, man. I'm a spring chicken, man. Your old ass couldn't handle this shit, man. I'm a spring chicken.
Come on, man. Let's go.
Let's go,
Cameron,
man.
Let's bring it.
X.
I'll put your ass in
your ass. I guarantee you.
2-round knockout.
I'll take you by your curly hair.
Put down that virtual gloves on.
I'll put you in retirement, bro. 100%.
Man, I ain't never lose to no white boy. I ain't never lose to no white boy from the UK. I guarantee you.
All right, now X, is this a normal occurrence for you everywhere you go? Are you this much of a polarizing figure that people always they either love you or they hate you? There's no in between?
That's right. They either love me or they hate me, one of the two. And it's been like that all my life, and I'm okay with it. Okay, there's a certain type of backlash that you get when you talk like me. Look, I say I'm down for the brothers, but I ain't down for every brother. I'll be down. I'll tell you right now. That's what people were asking me if I'm down with the LDBC. I said, no, fuck that. Are they down with me? That's the real question. Are they down with me? You know what I'm saying? That's how it goes. Because I'm not cool with everybody. All right, like I told you, I have a strong position on my feelings, and that's how I do.
All right, that's a good answer.
Wilder or you against me?
Okay, that seems like a fair position, I would say. Now, we got to talk one at a time here. Who wants to ask X a question? Because I know it's a rare opportunity to talk to such a big star. Who wants to ask X a question?
I'll ask him one question.
Go ahead.
Your X, like you see yourself as a pretty sort of person up the high levels, aren't you? You're pretty up high. You're not quite up to the sort of levels that recognises, are you? You're kind of underneath him. Is that fair to say? He's on mute, man. He's on mute. He don't want his fucking heat.
Yeah, I think you got him.
Yeah, as soon as he heard me ask a question, he fucking muted his mic.
Yeah, I think.
I got a good question.
But
how many tricks does Recognize get?
How many tricks does Recognize get? Now you have to break it down for us. What is that question?
Like like a prostitute. Trick
Okay, yeah, tricks.
Sorry
like
about
turning.
that, man.
Don't worry about it.
Sorry about that. Something happened with my connection. I don't know what's going on, man. You know what? I think the feds are looking for me. That's what I think too.
I'm pretty sure.
Throw away the key, man. Throw away the key.
Listen, man, the feds have always been looking for me. They're always trying to bother a young, successful black man like myself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I gotta leave anyway, man.
X,
Look, BDA, man. Hey, shut up, man. Whoever you are, shut up. I don't know who you are. Shut up.
Recognize, do you wear all white? Or my bad. X, do you wear all white?
I mean,
listen,
sometimes, you know, sometimes I get white down.
Happen?
You know? I got a white suit. If you're asking me that, yeah. I got a white suit.
Man. Successful.
I'm a businessman. But I just want to thank you, BDA, and I just want to say,
shut the fuck up, man, and let Stu talk.
Man, tell Stu to shut up, all right? You tell Stu I don't have nothing to say to him, all right? Tell Stu, send me the ticket. I'll be over there. I'll fight him anytime.
There you go. There you go.
I'll come to Jamaica quiz.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, BDA. Listen, BDA.
Yeah.
Give a shout out to my hosts from Atlanta, man. They like you, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
Give them a shout out.
Hey, if I'm ever, but hold on. If I'm ever in Atlanta, can I get a taste of those hosts, or is that off limits to me?
Eat their ass.
Well, we willing to do business, yes.
Not it.
Oh, I gotta show the green, right? I gotta show the money. Is that what you're saying?
I want to say one thing to X. X, you're not a real man. You're not a real fucking man. So you get some fucking girl and you fucking eat their ass, man. You're not
all
a real
right,
man.
you're obsessed with ass eating. Jesus. Cameron is obsessed with the ass eating. Let it go, man. We already know you're the ass eater, the ass muncher. We don't need to be talking about ass munching.
Listen, I want to respect X. I want to have some respect for X, but I can't do that until he does it, man.
Well, it's never gonna happen.
Listen, man. If listen, I'm gonna tell you like this. If you like eating ass, right? That's what you like to do. I got some hosts from Atlanta that like that shit. I'll send them to you, okay?
Oh, there you go.
At the right price.
There you go.
Right price.
Uber Eats that shit.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm willing to do business. I'm a nice person.
X, I ain't gonna pay
I'm a good person. I'm just misunderstood.
I'm not gonna pay for that. I ain't gonna pay for that shit when I get it handed to me on a fucking plate for free. I ain't paying for no fucking host.
Well, that's what you say now.
Man, I'm not talking business over the phone. All right, I don't care what you do. All right, listen, this is what I'm saying. All right, BDA, you the man. Whoever was talking, fuck him. And Stu, I want to fight you. That's it. Stu, I want to fight you. That's it. And I just want to say to everybody, peace.
Let's make it happen, bro. I've got a feeling it's going to be, you know, like your boy Wilder, Ian White, and your Deontay Wilder. I just don't think you fancy it, bro.
Let's do this in Wimbledon Stadium.
I'm not putting up with that shit. I'm going to tell you right now. Deontay Wilder's going to knock your boy out. I'm telling you right now. And he's knocking out Juicy J, too. I guarantee you that, okay? And another thing. I want to say one thing.
Hey, Gillion's coming for your boy, bro. Gillion's coming for your boy.
Let's put money on the table. That's what I'm saying. Matter of fact, I'll go to
coming for your boy, bro. Gillion's coming.
Nah. Listen, you gotta put your money where your mouth is. X is right. You gotta, if you're gonna talk the talk, you gotta walk the walk.
Hey,
put some money
X,
on that.
Hey, X.
Yeah.
X. Let me speak, bro.
Go ahead,
X,
man.
you're always welcome to the UK, man. If the fight happens, I'll even put you up. You can come and stay with me, bro, and we'll go to the fight together and watch your boy get knocked out.
Don't do it, X. Don't do it. He's gonna feed you to his dogs.
You're right, BDA, because I don't trust him.
If you if a fight happens,
you try to set me up and
come
get
to
me,
the UK.
Get me jumped by your
I'll
hoods.
take you and you can stay
your hoodlums, huh?
at mine. We'll get tickets for the fight and we'll watch your boy get knocked out ringside.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. X wasn't X.
I'm in the UK, bro. I'll go to that point.
X wasn't born. X wasn't born.
Talking sense. You're finally
exactly.
Talking sense. The guy over there that was talking shit to me. He's finally talking sense. You know, I like that.
That would happen, bro.
Dylan's gonna be counting sheep.
We don't do it.
That's right. Whoever said that, you a smart man.
Hey, listen,
I like you.
Welcome.
There's
Boxing style. You need to get off his arse, man. You need to get off X's arse, man. He's a bitch.
That's it, man. Call me a bitch one more time. You see, I told you I'm connected. I know how to get people. I know how to find them where they at.
I'm not on his ass.
Yo, X, what's your What's your YouTube channel again?
It's called 100% X. I'm a real motherfucker. Go check out my videos, okay? All 3 of them.
That's right. We're gonna.
I'm starting up my channel. X, I'm starting up my channel next week, man. I'll get you on my fucking channel. We'll fucking go at it.
Well, I'm down with that. I ain't scared of you. I ain't scared of nobody.
I'll link you up and we'll do it. I'll hit you up through Recognize. My man Recognize there. He's the main man, obviously.
Man, fuck Recognize. I hate that motherfucker. Don't talk to me about no goddamn Recognize.
Yeah, don't bring up Recognize. Don't bring up Recognize when X is
Don't
there.
talk to me about Recognize. My acid reflux starts going up when you talk about that motherfucker. I don't like him.
That's right.
Recognize.
You know he spread it. He's out there spreading rumors about me.
Yeah, you don't want to do that about X. And listen, X wasn't born yesterday. When you tell him, hey, come on over to my town, X, first of all, I don't even know if X can travel abroad. And if he does travel abroad, he travels via private plane only. Is that right, X?
Well, you know, like I said, BDA, you're a very smart man. I've told you this. You're a smart brother.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're not a brother, but you know what I mean. You're a smart man. I like you. Okay?
Honorary brother.
But
BDA went to Harvard.
This is what I'm saying. Under the right circumstances, I could get where I need to get to. Okay? So if Stu wants me to go to the UK and watch Wilder knock out Dillian White and then Juicy J, I'll find a way to get there. Okay?
Well, there you go.
But you know, he's got
listen, Bright.
Go ahead.
I'll gladly have you. Hey, listen. I'll gladly have you as my guest, bro. Listen, I'm not about races or creeds or religions. If you're a good guy, I'll have you over. You can stand in the house.
Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you, Stu. Let me tell you something, Stu. I'm a businessman. Okay? I'm a businessman, but I'm a black man first. So
That's
I'm all
right.
about race.
That's right. Say it loud and proud.
Spades.
Yeah, man. You call
the thing is, though, I got a feeling. I got a feeling you're going to be very quiet that night.
Well,
it's true. I was thinking, man, like, so you let people around your house, man. I say, I was going to say, imagine if me and you got 2 bitches round. Imagine if fucking antics are going in your fucking house, man. You'll be fucking choking a girl out. Fucking bending her over and eating her ass.
Hey, Cameron, mate. Hey, then you'd be like a prime fucking Julio Iglesias, bro.
All right. So anyway,
Wilder everything he knows.
That's right.
I did. Well, no, I didn't teach him, but you know, yeah, maybe you're right. I did teach him. You're right. You're right about that. I did. Anyway, I gotta get out of here.
All right, X.
Some business. BDA, you the man. Everybody's, you know, what's up, Stu? I'll fight you any day. And that other dude, whatever his name is, I'll bring it. That's all I gotta say.
Cameron.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do it the gypsy way? The gypsy way on a field in the middle of nowhere. Well, there's no one to break it up. There's no referee to say you've had enough. The old school way. Ben, no 10-ounce gloves here. Bare knuckle. Is that the way you want to do it, son?
Is kicking involved?
No kicking. This is old school, old traditional bare knuckle fighting.
All right, listen. I think X has to go. X.
Well, listen, man. I'm not afraid of anybody. I'll fight you bare knuckles.
Listen, X has to go.
Whatever you want, bring it.
X's time is limited. We already took enough of his time, man.
A gun, bro.
All right.
Listen, my acid reflux is acting up. I gotta get out of here, okay?
All right, X. Thanks for joining us, man. Thanks and take care out there in the tough streets.
I like you, man. You're a cool dude. Keep doing your thing, man.
Thank you, X. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
Remember my name, X.
Stay
Remember
safe.
my name, X.
Yes, remember Cameron's name.
You remember my name.
Let's go.
All right.
Jeez.
That was.
Fuck recognize the Matrix. That's my last thing.
Okay. That was.
All right.
X's time is limited, so we want to thank him for coming out. That was a great X, Bucho. Can you believe he was back on again after a long
I feel honored.
Me too, man. I mean, this guy.
I feel like I can lock my windows now, man. I feel like he's gonna be coming for me.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Fucking Stu's nuts because he's inviting her over to England. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. Cameron's challenging him to a fight. Listen, Cameron, I know you're starting a YouTube channel. You want to get your name out there, but this isn't the way to do it, man. You're getting yourself way over your head, all right? When you weren't even born.
Cheers, I was going to take this time. Apologies for this BDA, but everybody in the chat, subscribe to my channel. Let's get some shit going, man.
All right, there you go. We're gonna put the link in the description.
He doesn't know what he's getting himself into.
Oh.
I mean, in the middle of nowhere in the English countryside, you could be dug in a hole and no one would know you was even there.
No one can hear you scream.
No.
Yeah, in England, nobody can hear you scream.
Right next to my house, man. I'm right next to my house. I'm a fucking massive forest. I reckon there's a few fucking bodies buried in there, man.
And by the way,
Cameron's got a body cat in the forest next to him, isn't it?
Yeah, man. All the girls are refused to let me eat their ass.
And by the way,
Cameron's done a Deontay Wilder in the forest.
all right. So listen,
Cameron, you should open up a club called Ass Tasty.
You're all invited to the grand opening, man.
All right.
Now here's the
Even
thing.
though I never ate ass, I will come.
Yeah, man. You gotta get into that sort of shit, man. So anyway, moving on.
Yeah, we got to move on here.
Don't do it.
Yeah, that's sound advice.
I won't even get fucking apology doing it, man. At some point, man. I'm fucking getting on that.
No.
All right. Apology. We gotta address this subject because people in the chat room and in the subject, in the comment section, were saying that you sound like the Godfather or that you sound evil. Can you explain to us? Is that your natural voice? Do you have a mask on? I mean, what's going on here?
Yes, my natural voice. You know, you know.
You got a very
first words. I sound like this.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Everyone in the school was afraid of me. You know, I was all.
Now, in my experience,
I know what it is.
well, hold on. I'm talking here. Please. I'm talking here. I just want to say something real quick. In my experience, whenever people make fun of somebody else's voice, it's because they're jealous of that voice. And let me tell you something, man. If I had that voice, I would be talking non-stop, man, because that's a fucking cool ass voice, and I don't know how I'm gonna start chain smoking.
Apologies. You got a great voice, bro. It's like fucking Don Corleone, you know, fucking making his fucking demands. And when Don Corleone speaks, everybody listens. Fair play to you, bro.
Mm-hmm,
I will be making a lot of private phone calls, you know, so they can.
All right.
Hey, apologies. You're not You've not threatened to fucking put a horse's head in someone's bed, have you?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I mean, I threatened other stuff, but I'll leave that for second renaissance.
Man,
apologists gave them an offer they couldn't refuse.
Exactly. Apology used to work for X. That's what he used to do. He used to do some couple of jobs for X, you know, before he went legit.
You pay up, motherfucker, or we're going after you.
Recognize the Matrix, man. He's the main man right there, man. X is working for him. Convinced of that.
I don't know, man. I don't think X likes Recognize. I mean, there were some pretty. I mean, if you think Stu and Michael don't like each other, you should see Recognize and X. These guys.
Hey, can I get straight here? I don't dislike Michael at all, right? But I like I said, I keep it real. If you're gonna say things about me in the chat,
all right, we're not gonna go back to that,
and we can get it over and done.
We're going back. Okay, yeah.
We're not gonna. I shouldn't even have brought it up.
I'm just saying. We can get it over and done with, and it's finished with. I haven't got a problem with Michael.
If someone has a disagreement, with somebody else, let us know privately in the Hangouts. Don't make it all public. And
Joe, since that actual thing happened, Michael's been pretty quiet. He's going to be even still in the Hangout.
Yeah, Michael's still in. I don't think he cares.
He's disappeared, didn't he, since that thing happened?
Well, everybody's talking over each other, so I mean, it's kind of hard to get up. It's kind of hard.
He's dropped off now. He's dropped off now. Ironically enough.
I think Prasad should send Hamed a love letter.
I'm talking to
I got no problem with the dude. It's like I'm just saying, I'm a mirror, man. Whatever you throw at me, I'm gonna hit that shit out the park, basically. And he just couldn't handle it. Let's keep it real. He couldn't handle it. It is what it is.
Yeah, I wasn't part of the chat, but I kind of.
Hey, let's talk David Hay, Tony Bellew too, guys.
Jeez, no.
Next topic. Peacemaker. How to fucking squash beef? Mention Bellew and David Hay.
Who the fuck cares about David Hay and Tony Bellew, man?
Oh, you guys are excited about that fight in the UK. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%.
I'm excited about that fight. I'm excited.
Yeah, cool. Listen, man, I won't be watching that fight.
I want to see how Hay does now without that injury that he had.
I mean, if you put a bet on it, it makes it exciting.
He's gonna get injured.
Any fight makes.
When I put that thing to Ben yesterday about saying when he put that thing out and you said, I said that Hay probably gets injured in training. You went, hopefully he gets injured in the fight. You got some serious fucking heat for that comment, man.
It was you.
No, you got heat, man.
You got the heat.
No, you got the heat. They said, oh, you wish that a fighter gets injured. And then you were like, oh, classy comment.
I thought they were talking about you. They can go fuck themselves.
I enjoy it, man. I like pissing people off on Twitter. So if it was to me, all the better.
All right.
I don't care.
Look, listen, we got to talk about something also here. Because we've been talking a lot about the fry-up. That British breakfast. But I just... No, but hold on. I gotta, this is why I bring it up. Because here in Canada, they're obsessed with maple syrup. That's what they get on during the winter. You can't grow anything here during the winter other than extracting maple syrup from tree trunks, right? So they got what they call the maple cabins. You go to a cabin near the countryside and they serve you a maple, they call it breakfast. They put maple on everything, on the sausages, on the pancakes, crepes, on the eggs. There's maple syrup in everything. And I was remembering that there was a special dish where they give you pancakes with the sausage, with eggs, and they give you also that what's it called? Beans, but with maple syrup. So everything's got
maple syrup. Yeah,
everything's got maple syrup. It's not even that much better than that fucking fry-up.
I mean, yeah, but fuck it. The thing with Canada, right? It's like the cut capital of the world, right? And
to disagree, Sweden. Go on.
Yeah, I would say Sweden.
Yeah, no, Canada's up there with Sweden, and to top it off, half of them are French. I mean, I
remember when there was a protest over here in Quebec, and it was a teacher protest. So then, you know how the teachers protested? I'm talking about teachers, who teach. They're all naked, running around in the park. That's the way to protest, and they're all giggling and laughing, running around naked.
Yeah,
I'm like, come on, what are you gonna?
Look at the Prime Minister, man. I mean, fuck's sake.
Now wait a minute.
This guy is the ultimate cook.
Watches his wife get fucked. Definitely.
Oh, jeez. This is outrageous.
He's the sort of guy. He's the sort of guy that he licks his wife's bumhole, like Cameron.
Hey. Oh man, look, that's in the past. It's in the past. You know what I mean? I'm a changed man since that last
but the thing is, like, I just the Canadians, right? They're fucking. They're the worst. Like I said, they're worse than the Swedes, and I never thought that was possible. So I just don't. And to top it off, half of them are French. I mean, it's just everything. I just don't like anything about Canada.
You don't like the French?
Sorry, bro.
Yeah, what do you got against the French?
What?
What do you have against the French? I'm not going to stand here and let you insult Canada. Not going to happen.
Toast,
hey, listen. Hey, hang on a minute. Have we got another 3 hours?
Oh, no. This is outrageous. I'm not going to... This is... How dare you? And how dare you insult Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau? Let's give him the respect he deserves. This is outrageous. I can't believe people are badmouthing Canada.
Did you guys see Trudeau boxing? He boxed a senator.
General Patton, right? General Patton, American general of the army during the World War II. He had a saying, right? He'd rather have a German army in front of him than a French one behind him. It says everything you need to know.
Well, are you blaming the French for Dunkirk?
Like I said, mate, French World War II rifle for sale. Never been used, dropped once.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god,
well,
this is bad.
This is turning into Stu bashing Canada.
Man.
Stu bashes everybody.
What is it with the French, Stu? What is it with the French backing up in World War II that they're getting a hard time ever since now?
Well, they miscalculated the whole thing, man.
Because let's be real, right? Country is a big country, right? And the Germans took 3 weeks. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I heard the story. I heard the story that the French didn't want to get their cities destroyed or some shit like that. That's why they backed up.
Yeah, well, that was after they went around, like the Maginot Line. So then they knew that Paris was gonna get bombed. So then they said, "No way, we surrendered." I mean, imagine Paris getting bombed. No fucking way, man.
But they were still fighting. I mean, I won't call them cowards.
The UK was bombed to pieces, pulverised. London, Birmingham, Liverpool, Coventry, all cities just flattened from German bombs. Yet we still didn't surrender. The French surrendered after 2 weeks. That war lasted 6 years.
But you gotta
To be fair, Britain is an island, so I mean, you would need some sort of amphibious machinery.
Matter.
Oh, here's my question.
It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, right? Any fucking country that's got any sort of pride is look at
All right, let's.
The Russians got invaded too, but then they beat the shit out of the Germans.
Yeah, well, winter helped though. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it did, but it was a plan.
Listen, the Russians.
Oh
right?
yeah.
The only reason the Russians won is because the Germans were steamrolling through Russia like nothing, and they come across when they got to Stalingrad, the Russian winter kicked in and it killed the conditions killed a lot of their fucking soldiers and froze a lot of their equipment. That's how they got beat. They were steamrolling through Russia like nothing.
Yeah.
It was only the weather that beat them.
I don't want to sound like a history guy, but the reason why that actually happened is because I think they were afraid being attacked by the Japan side too at the same time, because they were initially Japan attacked them first.
We got.
Hey, you about the Russians? You about?
All right, we're getting into World War II.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna quit this shit.
Unless BDA agrees with this, I don't know.
Well, first of all, I got a question for Stu. I mean, Stu said, "Oh, England was bombed to pieces by the Nazis and all that." But how come they never? That's not an excuse to not have rebuilt dentist office. The UK could have rebuilt they rebuilt everything else other than dentist offices, and I think that's a shame and that is disgusting.
BDA getting racist.
Right? Well, that's got nothing to do with race. That's got nothing to do with
I
race.
didn't hear that.
How come they didn't rebuild any dentist offices? They got everything else. They got.
Oh, come on now, man. Fucking hell. My dad spent 15 grand on his teeth.
Yeah, because that's because he was. That's because he was feeding people. He was working with the mob, feeding people to pigs. Giving those corpses over to the pigs. That's why. I saw Snatch. I know how this shit works.
I think Colgate didn't make a entrepreneurship over there.
All right.
Listen, the thing is, right? It's like anywhere. If you go to a shithole area where there's scumbags, they're gonna have bad teeth. If you go to a nice area where people have got money and they look after themselves, they've got nice teeth. I mean, the problem is we've got a reputation of having bad teeth, but there's not many people I look around. I mean, obviously, when you see someone with bad teeth, you see it and you think, fucking hell, horrendous to look at. But I don't see it very often. I think.
Is it only in London?
If you want to see bad teeth in the UK, just watch Jeremy Kyle, man.
Yeah, well, this is the problem. This is what I hate about Jeremy Kyle. This program gets broadcast all around the world, right? And it gives this country a bad Jeremy Kyle. If I ever see him, I'm going to slap. If I ever see him, I'm going to slap the shit out of him. I swear to God, man. This guy has made the UK look so bad. And this is a guy. Did you know Jeremy Kyle sits there, plays the White Knight in shining armor? Yeah, he got done for finger bashing a 16-year-old from one of his shows.
Did you really? I didn't know that.
There's a message. A message from Chris Gonzalez to Stu. That's what you wanted to hear today. Stu has wooden dental implants.
Oh, come on.
Chris Gonzalez looks like. Hey, Chris Gonzalez looks like Freddie Roach's assistant trainer.
Where is this going? What happened to this podcast?
Boo Boy
Fernandez, man.
Hey, Boo Boy's a legend, all right? He's a legend.
Yeah, the buffet.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's a legend at the buffet table. That's what he's a legend at.
Well,
listen.
We've also got X in the chat saying, bring Stu and Cameron, I'll beat both their English asses. So, yeah.
The thing is with X, he doesn't even have a passport. Half of them guys, like the LDBC crews, they haven't got a passport. It's like the Truman Show to them. When they go to the sea, they get to a certain distance and there's a barrier keeping them from the world. These guys, like I said, how many of them have traveled the world?
That's a good question. I don't know. You'd have to ask them. But I get your point. Yeah.
That's why everything's about America to them. Everything. I mean, they don't class Anthony Joshua as a brother. They don't class him as a black guy.
He's European. What are you talking about?
But he's black.
Well, when it depends. It depends on the situation and depends who he's fighting.
The thing is, right, if you get a pit bull terrier that's born in England and a pit bull terrier, a pit bull terrier.
It depends who you hang out with, you know?
That's right.
Is Dylan White classed as a brother to him? No.
No, because they work with Eddie Hearn, so they are not real.
Yeah, they're slaves, isn't they, according to X?
The thing is,
according to Wilder, Wilder said that shit. How come all this controversial stuff comes from like Wilder saying this stuff about they're slaves, and then you have Joshua saying that the superior race comment, and nobody says a damn fucking thing, man.
I think when the sorry, bro, go on.
Yeah, Bucho. 70 had a good little thing, video about what he thinks about Hearn, about the deal. I don't know. It kind of sounded he had a good thing about it. He said about the cut and the flat rate and stuff. It didn't really make sense to give him a flat rate for Wilder. Just didn't. I mean, unless you didn't want to give out the percentages. I don't know why, because he's saying that. I mean, they're obviously trying to hide some money that's going to come in. So he had a reasonable case for Wilder.
I agree with the flat fee. I mean, I don't agree with the flat fee.
Yeah, flat fee is ridiculous. I mean, 12 million. Yeah. They don't know it's 100 million. I'm not saying it's going to be 100 million, but they keep saying 100 million.
You don't know how much it's going to be, right?
Yeah. Flat is ridiculous. You got to give out a percentage, and he's saying the reason why he's not giving out a percentage is to hide the fact that how much they're going to make on both sides, not just for AJ and Wilder. I mean, not just for Wilder, just for AJ too at the same time.
Yeah.
I don't know. What about you guys think about that? I don't know.
Listen, we've talked at length about this whole finance thing. I mean, I'm not saying it would be a good conversation, and it is a good conversation. But my thing is this: let's just wait until they see what happens, how everything develops, and then we'll comment on it. Because I'll tell you what. Once the fight gets signed and they agree on everything, we're going to have forgotten all about this whole who gets the bigger slice of the pie and all that. It's just, it's going to be meaningless.
To be a shit fight.
You think it's going to be?
I think it's going to be a knockout. It's going to be good, though. Spectacular.
I hope that's what happens. I hope that.
It is. Unless AJ pulls the same shit that Parker, with the Parker shit. That I thought Parker was going to knock his ass out, honestly. He pulled that little tape shit on him. Oh, wait, let me get some rest with the tape.
Right.
That's retarded.
Yeah, that was bizarre. And again, speaking of tape, like I mentioned on that day's show, they have these things, I think it's Everlast, where you actually can put some sort of leather strap over the glove. I think it's part of the glove. No, actually, it goes on the wrist. And so you don't need tape anymore. Or even if you do put tape over it, it's not, if it comes loose, it's not going to hinder the performance, and the show can go on without getting stopped every 2 minutes by the referee. So I don't. That was back in 2006, I think, more than 10 years ago, and they still haven't implemented it worldwide. But that's the thing about boxing: is it's a huge institution. You got different commissions all over the place. In order to change that, they're very slow to change, man. I mean, just look at instant replay. They were talking about that more than 10 years ago. Oh yeah, HBO started talking about it, and then it went nowhere.
Well, the sanctioning bodies could step in now.
But they don't want, again, slow. Because if they change one thing, then people are going to start demanding change for everything. And then most of the things they're going to demand are the things that they don't want to change, that the commissions or the sanction organizations, because then it makes it harder to fix fights. I mean, I'm sorry, it's the truth. I mean, I'm being very cynical here, but, referees can get involved in the fight, the judges, the promoters. I mean, the more rules you start implementing and changing, the more power you take away for certain elements. So that's my theory on that. Maybe I'm wrong, but hey,
I agree.
Well, there you go.
There's a heavyweight discussion in the chat.
As far as the whole flat fee thing, and I hate to bring it up on BDA, but I didn't get to put my 2 cents in really. And the people in the chat are talking about it. I don't think it was a flat fee. I haven't seen from the quotes that I mean, writers will interpret the shit however the fuck they want. They spin, they lie. It is what it is. But from the quotes that I saw from Eddie Hearn, it doesn't anywhere say that it's a flat fee. I think it might have been a guarantee. And the thing that people aren't realizing is that, you know, Deontay Wilder's going to get a lot of the pay-per-view, if not all the pay-per-view in the US. Like, there's so much to this deal that we don't even really know about for us to really have an opinion, you know what I mean? Because there's income streams from pay-per-view, UK money, you know what I mean? The ticket sales, sponsors, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're just hyping the fucking fight up by throwing numbers out there and pulling quotes out of their asses and making drama where there really isn't any. This is just part and parcel of negotiating any big fight. And normally they just don't make that shit public. But because we jump all over that shit, it helps to promote fights. And unfortunately, this has become a way of promoting fights since Maypac, you could say.
I realized making a fight is like buying a house. Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Like, we don't even need to know about the details. Just let us know when the fight is ready. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
When it's signed. Like, Jesus.
Yeah, enough drama with the negotiations and the back and forth and he said, she said. Just make the fight. That's all. We're boxing fans at the end of the day. We're not accountants. We're not sitting there counting the numbers. All we care about is the fight. And yes, yeah.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, depending. Sometimes the money part is interesting to talk about a little bit, but like I always keep saying, once the fight gets done, nobody's gonna be talking about money anymore. It's gonna be irrelevant.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's because there's been an influx of noobs to the sport and they don't really understand the sport. They can't really break down fights, talk about fights. So and it's just like sick celebrity worship, man, where everyone's interested in how much his house costs, how many cars he has, how much money he's making, right? It's no longer really about, you know, the sweet science. It's about all this other nonsense, but
the gossip
is what it is.
He goes all about how much their brother's getting paid.
It's all about gossip.
Yeah. Mayweather has 10 Bugattis. It's like, who cares? Who cares? Are you driving any of them?
Like, I see some of these videos on YouTube. It's like one day it's like, oh, Wilder said this. Next day another video, Joshua said this, and there's like a 3-hour video talking about one comment he made. It's like so pointless.
And we get sucked into this shit, but man, is it fucking boring. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's so boring. It's just like, make the fucking fight already, or fight your Mandos.
Well, actually, that depends. The mandatories, you know, I'm torn up between the mandatories because a lot of people say, you know, oh, this guy's good because he just beat his mandatory. But come on, the WBA is the organization that once had a guy that was dead, #1 in their rankings, or I don't remember if it was #1, but the guy was dead and they had him in the rankings.
He paid his dues. He paid his dues.
Yeah, with a bullet in the brain. I mean, look, I hate sanctioning bodies for the most part. I can't stand them. But again, they do serve a certain purpose for the fighters. It gets their name out there, you know. Oh, world champion, you know, WBC world champion. But and by the way, Precise, I forgot to say that I don't know if people have seen it already, but Artorias Boxing, which put up one of your old videos about Pacquiao versus. Yeah, it says I'm curious. Do you have every video you've ever done on a hard drive somewhere?
Maybe.
Okay, he doesn't want to
confirm nor deny that.
Yeah, he will neither confirm nor deny that. Yeah, because it was interesting watching a blast from the past. Because again, I wasn't into the YouTube scene until about a year ago, and so I wasn't familiar with many of you guys or the videos you did. So when I saw a blast from the past like that from 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I'm like, God damn! I wonder who else has snippets like that hidden away that they can repost.
Those videos were pretty good, man.
Yeah. Well, that's why he earned his reputation, man, through grinding and making those videos. You know,
like I told you when we start.
I don't mean to be I don't mean to be controversial, and angry with people.
Uh-oh.
I don't. But you know, at the end of the day, it's got to the stage where I've just, you know, when any man comes to the end of his tether, and when he's come to the end of his tether, enough's enough. I've been putting up with this. Like I said, BDA, you've only been on this YouTube thing for a little while. I've been on it for years. And the abuse I've got, Precise will tell you, Precise has had more abuse than I've ever had. And I'm at the end of my tether, so I can imagine how he feels. So it just comes to a stage where you become defensive, and that's why you attack these people. You don't mean to. Like I said, I feel bad that I've had to fall out with Michael tonight. You know what I mean? I do feel bad, but I have to say what's on my mind at the time. And that's how it
Send him some roses.
Say again, bro.
Send him some roses.
Send him some scarves.
No, it's just me.
Some
I'm
scarves or
not
scotch?
sending anyone. I just roses, so Mal won't be getting them. But you know, at the end of the day, that's how it is. I don't mean to be how I am sometimes, but
I mean, you should see me on Twitter, on Twitter, man. Obviously, I'm not on this YouTube thing yet, but my tweets that whatever I write on Twitter about boxing, it gets a lot of fucking engagement, retweets, and that shit, and I get trolled all the fucking time, man. Twitter's fucking bad. So, but I know YouTube's bad.
I mean, I know Precise has been getting shit because I was listening to Precise when his name was Men Take Bubble Baths. I mean, I don't know if it was Precise online now.
Damn, that was a long time ago.
Can you remember that, bro?
I call you bubbles. It all makes sense now.
You got it now?
Right. Yes, I was listening to this guy when this guy was called Men Take Bubble Baths. It wasn't even no Precise presenter, no Precise puncher. It was Men Take Bubble Baths. So I've been around a long time, and after a while, it gets. When you're dealing with these characters, you guys get upset with some of the guys we get in the chat that just pops in now and again. But when you're doing your own videos for years and years on end, you see the worst forms of human life, and it does get you down a little bit. I mean, Precise has had it 3 times the amount I've had, but he's a different character to me. He's very calm and collected.
Stu, you have the good with the bad, though, don't you?
Yeah, but he's a different character to me. He's calm and collective and deals with it other ways. He'll come back in an intelligent way and destroy him. Where me, I'll get angry, and we end up having fucking fiery debates on Hangouts. Do you know what I mean?
Not always. Not always. I mean, like, the reason why I snapped on Hamed is because, look, I've made my case about that fight, and I'm not trying to talk about the fight, Pacquiao Mayweather. You know, I put in the work, and I made my fucking case. This kid, it comes on here. First of all, he's like half my fucking age, okay? First and foremost. Secondly, he comes on here, and he's like, oh, I fell asleep during that fight. Oh, okay, well, let us hear about your fucking scorecard. You know what I mean? Some of us paid attention. Some of us put in the work to make our argument, and you fell asleep during the fight, but I'm the stupid one. Fuck out of here.
To be fair though, bro, I get what you're saying, but age just don't fuck. The amount, I'm like fucking, I've only just turned 23, but the amount of fucking guys that are like 40, 50 watch boxing, they don't know fuck all about boxing, man. Like, the amount of times
no, that's not the point I'm making. Like, when 3-Piece Boxing was on here, right, and he was giving he's an old school dude, and he was giving his opinion and recounting some of the stories and experiences that he had in boxing. I disagreed with about 40% of what he was saying, but I kept my fucking mouth shut. Why? Because he's an OG, and that's how I was raised. Like, when people that have been there and done that and they're older than me, I might not disagree with them, but before I disagree with them, I'm gonna listen to what they have to say, and I'm gonna check myself first, because I might be right, but I'm not gonna, like, I respect people that are older than me, and they're wiser than me. You know what I mean? And in a way, I also respect that. I expect that from younger people. At the very least, show some respect. I put in the work. You fell asleep during the fight. I don't give a fuck what your score is. Basically, that's what I should have said.
All right, senior citizens.
That's the point I'm making.
I bet he did. I mean, I doubt he actually fell asleep during the fight, man. I doubt. He's probably just saying that.
You can say, but he was drunk, bored. Like
Look,
me.
He was bored. I was captivated. I liked the fight, and go ahead, criticize me for it. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I saw a lot of technique in the fight. I saw a lot of things that showed me, you know, that Pacquiao got skill, and I appreciated it, and I made countless videos about that shit. But this kid is gonna come on here and like call me names after I put in all that work. Come on, man. That's why I snap, because it's just disrespectful. Like, have some fucking respect. Disagree all you want, but don't make it personal.
Precise. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 40 years old.
40? Older than me.
Fuck me, man. You're double my age, man.
I'm 30, man.
I thought he was double my age.
Yeah, I thought.
Damn. I thought I was younger than you.
No, I'm 20 years old.
I'm not trying to pull rank. Look, I'm not saying that someone younger isn't smarter than myself or doesn't know something's or isn't correct where I'm wrong. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is, look, some of us have been there, have done that. Like, we know what we're talking about. give us the respect. That's all I'm saying. I could be wrong.
That's right.
But just be respectful.
I'm extreme, man. Like, since I've been in this podcast, every single person I've spoke to on this podcast, I've learned something from about boxing. So, yeah, I mean, we all know shit. You know what I mean? We don't know not all of us know everything. You know what I mean? We just kind of learn off each other, don't we? So,
all right. This circle jerk has gone on long enough. Yeah, we need. Yeah, okay. Listen, I wanted to ask.
I was like 70.
Who's 70?
I should have said I was like 70.
Yeah, and first of all, the way you asked the question to precise about age, like how old are you, is like I don't know. I detected a tinge of homoeroticism in that question.
Yeah,
I don't know, but we'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that. We'll leave it at that.
It would have sounded worse if Apology said it, but yeah.
What are you wearing?
If you're bending that way, you will have to eat up.
All right, and listen, I had a question that I was thinking about earlier tonight. I mean, earlier today. And I'll start with Apology Man because he hasn't been able to say much tonight. But you know, the Triple G versus Canelo rematch, I don't think it's gonna happen this year, right? Joshua Wilder, let's say it doesn't happen. Which potential fight out there, even if it's between different promotional entities, whatever, which fight would get you the most excited? For which fight would you look forward to with more anticipation? Could be any fight you ever wanted, like right now.
Isn't Loma Linares coming up? So I'm really excited for that fight.
Okay.
I'm really excited.
All right.
Agreed.
You think it's going to be an action fight?
Well, first, I want to say I apologize to Stu before we end the show, but I also wanted to say that if we could pick anyone, that I would want to see Daniel Jacobs and Billy Joe Saunders in England.
That's the fight you would be looking for.
But I want to apologize to you, Stu, because I think you misunderstood stuff, and I think you were calling me out. And coming from where I'm from, we kind of tend to snap on that shit. But I apologize, man. I lost my fucking temperature, dude.
Anyways,
I love you.
I see Stu did not.
I think he might be.
I heard X was calling out Stu.
Wait, sorry. Apology. I don't think. I
owe it to him too.
I recognize fucking X wants me now, man.
I'm just sorry, bro.
Yeah, I heard he wants to. I heard he wanted to fight you too. What's going on?
Let's speak.
I'm just coming in the room. I've just come in the rooms and I heard you speaking. What was you talking about? Because obviously Michael just said.
No, I'm just saying that I think I apologize for us both losing our temper.
Me too, Michael, man.
Our temper on each other. But I think I was trying to explain that, like, it's not. I wasn't attacking you personally, and I think I just took it personal when you were calling me the names or something, and then I just fucking lost it.
Listen, mate. Listen, we're both proud men here, right? I've called you names. You could call me names. That's it. At the end of the day, we're not going to come halfway across the world to have a fight.
Why not?
Yeah, I was talking out of my ass, dude. Sorry.
I classed all you guys on this hangout as my friends, right? I classed you as good guys and my friends, and I classed you as a friend, Michael.
Sorry.
Well, I classed you as a friend, Michael, and then when I was going in the comment section and seeing things said about me, it just upset me. That's it. It's end of story.
Everybody's dropped top again.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Stu. Like, I don't know. I don't know anybody here personally or anything like that, but I've kind of, coming on this show has kind of become sort of a reoccurrence to me. It doesn't feel right not coming on here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like I said, mate. I speak to the guys in this hangout more than I do my fucking own.
My goodness gracious, that's not good.
Yeah, so do I.
All right, now listen. Somebody's paying.
Boxing styles. What the hell?
Yeah, my bad. It's mine.
All right, listen.
I want to see Stu whip. I want to see Stu whip X's ass. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, we might get a chance to do that, man. All right, listen. Let's read what people are saying.
I'm gonna take X.
Send a virtual kiss and get it over with.
I'm gonna take X from.
You need to take
X to a gypsy site. I'm gonna take him to a gypsy site. Bare knuckle.
Oh my
God. All them fucking go. Come on, Mush. Get your money out, Mush.
No condoms, nothing. Just bare knuckle.
Dude, you need to take care of X before you come to my head.
Don't worry about X, mate. Don't worry about him.
X is like 5'8", 165. He's like a fat, skinny guy. You ever saw a fat, skinny guy? That's what he is.
All right, people.
Hey, with X, I see a lot of Andre. I see a lot of Andre Durrell in X.
Yeah.
People in the chat don't like this whole makeup phase. They want to see you guys keep fighting.
My
Oh,
God,
no,
they want blood.
it's not entertaining, huh?
Of course they do.
When they meet,
Yeah,
they
of
start
course
hugging and then they start crawling.
Get hammered on, then we'll see.
Isn't that what they do at the end of boxing matches?
No, boys.
He ain't coming
You
on
can't
again.
win. You know, you talk about boxing and you're rambling on too much. You know, you keep quiet and you're rambling on too much. You try to make it.
Didn't Conor McGregor and
Mayweather
Mayweather have?
out with. There's a lot of noise in the background. What the fuck's going on here? Get out of this BDA, man.
I don't hear shit. I don't hear anything.
Yeah, I hear echo. It's really bad.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
man. The fucks.
Every
Alright.
time, man, somebody's either eating fucking wrappings or something like that.
Yeah, I think that happens because you know what happened? I think because people rejoined the chat room. And so in the beginning, there's some. Was that?
People
Polish breathing too hard on the mic.
Who's breathing hard? All right, whoever's breathing hard on the mic, stop breathing at all.
No
All right.
one's breathing. It's not that, man. Somebody's playing music in the background.
Yeah, it's boxing styles. You got music in the background. Mute your if you're not gonna.
It's my ringtone.
It's your
mute
what?
yourself, man.
Yeah, you need to mute your mic, please, if you're not gonna talk, man, because otherwise we hear everything, all the sirens.
There's the culprit right there, boxing style.
And he's eating noodles or something. What? I think he's eating a fry up.
Oh, those are spicy ass noodles that I was eating.
Oh, okay.
He's eating his phone.
If you're not gonna talk, people, mute yourselves, please.
All right. Well, look, listen. People in the chat wanted people in the chat wanted a fight. Dino says, recognize said he made X everything he is today. Yeah, it's interesting. X didn't make it, he didn't shout out to recognize. He didn't give recognize any credit for where he's at right now.
Exactly, man. Recognises the reason we know the name X right now, man.
Well, recognize.
I used to have interviews with the guy. You know, I treated him good, and this is the kind of thanks I get back. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
Recognize is a cool dude, man.
Stu, I would pay for you to whip his ass. I would pay to see that.
Hey, what? Me and X? Yeah, man. I'm like,
Yeah,
like I
I
said,
would pay
man.
for you to choke him out with that scarf that you like to use. Just choke him out.
I want to give a shout out to John Gonzalez in the chat. He's had my back for the last few shows. The guy right there.
Oh yeah, John came in to defend you last episode. At the end of the last episode, because he wanted to.
John's a little bitch.
Wait, now wait a minute.
Where's Chris Gonzalez? Is Chris Gonzalez on there still? Because that guy trolls me on a constant basis.
Yeah, he says. I'm looking at his comment right now. He says Stu wants to do a human centipede with precise and X. Oh man. Oh. I've never seen that movie.
Hey,
and I
John.
went. Was that apology? Apology. Apology.
I hear echo, man.
Yeah, echoing bad somewhere.
Here, echo, and all those laughs sounds like the Predator, man.
Well, at least the people in the people in the audience don't hear the echo. I think it's just us, but I don't hear any echo right now. So I don't know about you guys.
There's no come on this show, man. I can hear myself, man.
Mucho, look at your chest. There's 3 laser dots.
My mate and 3 guys, man. I recognise Stu and John Gonzalez, man.
All right, X.
They're my guys on the fucking show, man. No disrespect to anybody else, man.
No. X is saying, "I'll choke." Recognize. Was that?
Cameron.
Yeah.
Is that Cameron?
Yeah.
Dude, my hair used to be just like that when I was younger.
What?
Bro,
Exactly
now
like
you can see why I get the fucking ass, man. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So when can we get?
I had the same hairdo.
I'm making the most of it before I lose it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no, it goes pretty fast. It happens.
Wait.
My hairline's all right now, man. I'm making the most of it before it does start receding.
Uh-oh.
No, the key is if once it starts happening, cut it short. Just start cutting it shorter on the top. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I need to look after myself because otherwise I'm not gonna be having any arse to eat.
By the way, people are telling me that Dylan White made a video on Instagram, and is that what happened? Anybody knows what happened with Dylan White?
Oh no, I don't know.
Boxing Killers TV says, pull it up, BDA. Dylan's Instagram. Can we play videos from Instagram, Buchu? Or is that...
Yeah, just screen share, man, when you do it.
Alright.
Well,
First of all...
Dylan White's posted a video about another opponent. Eddie Hearn says he has to fight Brian Joshua person.
About what, bro?
I'm not too sure what it's about, man.
Okay, everyone's breaking up, man.
Yeah, the connection's pretty bad throughout the whole thing now.
Isn't Dylan gonna fight Pulev?
Pulev or Povetkin, innit? Or something like that.
Oh, it's probably Povetkin.
I don't even know which video.
I think that's a good fight for Dylan White.
Thought it was Pulev.
Pulev's a good fight for him.
Yeah, it is.
By the way,
Both guys are good.
why do people call Deontay Wilder Jessica? Jessica Wilder, is that a...
Because it's his WBC title, when he called his WBC title Jessica. Is that right?
Well...
I thought it was Beyonce.
Yeah, Beyonce.
I don't know, man.
Is it me or is everybody cracking up?
Is everybody what?
Cracking up, like connection.
I don't know.
Yeah, it sucks.
Okay, I
It's not
think...
just you, no.
It what?
Let's all drop.
It's cracking.
We should all drop. Let's all drop and come back in.
Well, you know what?
Every time I hear somebody talking, it's like crackling up.
Yeah,
all right, everybody drop out. Everybody drop out.
But we're gonna end it either way, no?
How long has it been?
It's been 3 hours and 22 minutes.
Oh, that's nothing, man. We run for what, 6 hours every day?
I can't even hear what you're saying. Was that?
Let's end it, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's end it. Guys, thank you so much for being here, everybody. We got to give a shout out to everybody. Don't leave yet because I got to count who was here. We got Stu, thank you for being on. Recognize, thank you for being on. Precise.
Not a problem.
Michael, Cameron, Boxing Styles, Apology Man. Thank you for being here. We'll put the links, your links in the description. Always appreciate.
Put my channel in there, bro.
What's that?
Put my channel in there this time, bro.
Yes, we'll put. By the way, what's it called? Because I don't even know. You just started it.
Yeah, it's just my name right now, man. It probably will just be my name.
All right, so Cameron Gillon at YouTube. That's what it's gonna be.
Yeah, man, probably. I'm not afraid. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna stick to mine, and people know who I am and that sort of shit.
All right, fantastic. So we'll put that up, of course. Michael as well, recognized as well. X, of course, who made a little cameo here, was gracious.
Oh, wait a minute. Is recognized? Is he still on the string?
Yeah,
I'll stay here.
Oh yeah, man. We'll do a hangout or something next week, bro. If you want, on yours or mine.
Definitely, man. I'm with it.
Right, bro. I'll let you up.
All right, sensational. Everybody's linking to each other. There's a lot of cross promotion going on. Fantastic. We love it. All right, so thanks to everybody. Also, we can't forget the people in the chat with their comments, their witty comments. Dino Parkso, I got a shout out to him. Shepherd of Sons, Matty, Claire, Fox, the Fox Strikes, Pop Tart Gone, Shepherd of Sons, Del Boys Boxing News. Check out his channel. I believe he has a channel. Get Off Me Son, Foul Boxing, Fam Ollie, John Gonzalez, Chris Gonzalez, 100% X, who was also scanning the chat room as well. Reese Mack, Steven Skillrose, Mr. Coxey, Rotty Davis was there as well. I think Cachnello was there as well. Reese Mack, I already mentioned him. Graphic Prod, Del Boy again, mentioned him. Foul Graphic. All right, guys. So Gangstas003, Fam Ollie, Weed Degree as well. Can't forget him. Boxing Killers TV. Thank you so much for being with us, guys. We'll be back next week, trying to do more impromptu podcast. And also, don't forget, we're going to try to do Second Renaissance. But this time, we'll let people bring up whatever subject they want. You talk.
Hit me up, bro, when that's happening.
Sensational. All right, so everybody's ready for one of those again. Don't forget to like, subscribe to BDA Live, our main channel. And Aiden Morrison too. I forgot to shout out to Aiden Morrison. And we'll see you in the next one, folks. Take care. We'll see if we can set up another fight, another heated argument next episode. Otherwise, everybody paying compliments to each other kind of gets boring, all right? See you on the next one, folks. Take care.
See you.